We're moving forward with Wednesday, March 18. It is approximately 6:10. Please recording the meeting to order.
All right, our first agenda item this evening is going to be NYC Social Services as well as Acacia Network Housing. I will allow folks to introduce themselves. I believe the majority of the presenters are on Zoom this evening. Whenever you're ready.
Hi, can you hear me?
Looks like we might have some sound
Yes,
issues.
we hear you, Jamar.
Deputy Commissioner.
Oh, hi. I'm Jamar Hooks. I'm Deputy
Yeah,
Commissioner.
it looks like we're having a sound issue. We're gonna have to figure out what's going on. Just bear with us for one moment.
Okay.
All right, if you can try again, just so we can test if our sound is working.
Testing. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Excellent.
Oh, okay. Should I start?
Yes, please.
So good evening. I'm Jamar Hooks. I'm Deputy Commissioner for Intergovernmental Affairs and Legislative Affairs at the Department of Social Services, which includes the Department of Homeless Services, DHS, and the Human Resources Administration, HRA. I've been joined by my colleagues at the Acacia Network and my colleagues at DSS. So I'll pass to Yuri to introduce herself.
Hi, good evening, all. I'm very familiar with you. It's a pleasure to be here this evening to present on our shelter site. I'm Yuri Sanchez. I'm the Assistant Deputy Commissioner at Department of Social Services, Office of Intergovernmental and Legislative Affairs. We are also joined by two other colleagues who are not panelists, but we are joined by DHS program colleagues Rosie Jellin and Program Administrator Abiodu Oyeniyi. I'll pass it to Acacia to introduce themselves.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Alfredo Matthews, and I'm the Senior Vice President for Acacia Network Housing.
And I'm Jessica McGee. I'm one of the Vice Presidents for Acacia Network Housing.
And I believe we're also joined by Ray Carrero, who is a Brooklyn Borough Director from DSS, and he should be in the room with you all today. So I will pass to Jessica and to Freddie to begin a presentation. And after their presentation, we're happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you.
Is the share open already?
I believe so.
Okay.
Skills that you feel like you can apply when you need them, okay? I don't expect everybody to just walk out and be like, oh yeah, I'm very confident with everything. It's okay to be reluctant in some areas, and that's fine. This is
Because we're having a conversation and Casa Network. I don't think that, my opinion, I don't think that this is nice that you're not present here because people would like to see the persons that are going to run an establishment, and I don't think it's So I really think that you should have given this board and this community respect and bringing yourself here to address us instead of us looking at the TV set. Thank you.
No disrespect intended. We are very eager to partner with the community. We were notified it was a virtual meeting, and so we jumped on virtually. We're happy to come by and be part of
So-
future conversations.
I want to be very clear about the board's policy. We require that at least one person share the presentation on Zoom. I explained that I am one staff person. I cannot go back and forth between facilitation and the Zoom administration. It does not mean that everyone else had to participate on Zoom, just to be very clear.
Understood. Thank you for the clarity. Jessica McGee is presenting right now. She's sharing, and she will be going through the presentation. I'll be happy to take any questions along with DSS. Thank you so much. Go ahead, McGee.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being present and hearing us and the presentation of this new program. The new program is indeed named Rennie's House. I wanted to begin by introducing myself again. My name is Jessica McGee. I am one of the vice presidents of Acacia Network Housing, overseeing a portfolio of single adult sites, of which Rennie's House is one of the newest. And please let me know if you have any issues seeing my screen. So Acacia Network, the larger network, our mission is to partner with communities, lead change, and promote health and prosperous individuals and families. Our core values include excellence. We pursue the highest standards by empowering employees' ideas, embracing best practices, and driving innovation that moves the organization forward. Commitment. Our strength comes from dedicated staff who invest their time, talent, and integrities to serve others with compassion, professionalism, transparency, and accountability. Customer service. We honor individuality of every person we serve, delivering care with dignity, respect, empathy, and genuine human connection. And leadership. We build trust, inspire change, and uphold our values through ethical action, uniting diverse strengths to deliver the highest quality of integrated care. The Acacia Network seeks to embody these values in all services that we deliver throughout the organizations in our network. Services delivered through the greater Acacia Network include, we have integrated community-based care across the continuum of health and human services, which includes primary care, behavioral health, substance use services, affordable and supportive housing, workforce development. We have programs focused on older adults. We have food assistance program and arts and cultural initiatives, in addition to the transitional housing programs, which you'll hear more about today. So Acacia Network Housing, right? Acacia Network Housing is the homeless services division of Acacia Network. This is what we are here for today. It's one of the largest not-for-profit human services organizations in New York City. We serve approximately 7,500 individuals at any given time. We operate shelters citywide throughout the Department of Homeless Services shelter system, supporting approximately 1 in 8 shelter residents throughout the system. We are part of a network serving over 150,000 people annually. So those services that I just spoke of a moment ago. Our goal is to transition individuals from shelter into permanency or permanent housing while addressing underlying barriers and promoting long-term stability and independence. We deliver these services through coordinated person-centered services, through housing placement and stabilization, through medical and behavioral health referrals, employment and workforce development, life skills development, and crisis intervention and individualized case planning. Acacia Network Housing experience with TGNC populations. Acacia Network has extensive experience supporting transgender and gender nonconforming or TGNC individuals within the NYC shelter system, providing safe and respectful and affirming environments that prioritize privacy, and choice. The key components of these services include gender affirming and person-centered case management, placement consistent with the client's gender identity, staff fully trained in TGNC cultural competency, access to medical and behavioral health and supportive services that are appropriate for the population, coordination with specialized community providers, as well as safety planning and crisis intervention as needed. Our comprehensive experience across the shelter populations include a broad spectrum of individuals and families with complex needs. We service single adults, both men and women, families with children, adult families, individuals with behavioral health needs, older adults, and those with medical frailties. We service street homeless individuals. We've historically had isolation and quarantine sites during the COVID-19 pandemic, and we have specialized transgender and gender nonconforming beds in some of our facilities. So why we're really all here, right? Introducing Rennie's House. So Rennie's House is named in the legacy of service for Kwame Rennie. So it was named in honor of Kwame Rennie, a dedicated leader who began his tenure with Acacia Network Housing in 2012 as a director of social services or an assistant program director. Through his commitment, professionalism, and deep compassion for those experiencing homelessness, he was promoted to program director and later program coordinator or regional manager, where he supported multiple programs and staff across the organization. Following his passing in 2018, the program was named to recognize his lasting impact and unwavering dedication to servicing vulnerable populations. Rennie's House stands as a tribute to his legacy, providing safe, respectful, and supportive environments where residents are empowered to achieve stability, independence, and permanent housing. So an overview of the program itself. So Rennie's House is intended to be a 142-bed standalone transitional housing program operated by Acacia Network Housing. It's located in the Bedford-Stuyvesant area of Brooklyn on the border of Bushwick. The program is to serve single adults from general population, including individuals who may identify as transgender and gender nonconforming. Using a trauma-informed and person-centered approach, the program provides individualized case management and comprehensive supportive services designed to promote stability, self-sufficiency, and successful transition into permanent housing. Some of the key features of the program is 24-hour support within the facility, comprehensive social services being delivered. The focus is really on rapid transition into permanent housing. 3 meals a day will be served, as well as snacks in the program. There will be 2 indoor recreation spaces, as well as secure private outdoor space. The overview of the staffing of the program includes a director, assistant program director, and a director of operations. The assistant program director will oversee the social services department, which will include case managers, housing specialists, a clinical coordinator, an LPN, a recreation specialist, as well as peers. We intend to have a nurse practitioner for the program, and the director of program operations will oversee the 24-hour staffing, which includes residential aides, shift supervisors. The program will have a driver, as well as the security coverage in the building, which will be vendor services. So the client services and support include some of the things I've already mentioned, which will be those individualized case management services and service planning, housing placement assistance and application support, benefits enrollment to ensure that clients have access to all the benefits that they're entitled to. There will be medical and behavioral health referrals, as well as services delivered on site, employment readiness, life skills development, and independent living preparation. Crisis intervention and safety planning will occur at the site, as well as coordination with community-based providers and those local providers to have easy access for services for our clients. There will be daily support and wellness checks throughout the building. We've already discussed the meals that will be delivered on site. There will be recreation activities as well as structured programming. There will be peer engagement, as well as we intend to provide a safe and secure living environment. So the services that the Greater Acacia Network has in Brooklyn include the Carlos Pagan Recovery Center that we have in Red Hook, El Regreso, men and women's residential programs in Williamsburg, as well as the outpatient treatment services delivered through El Regreso, as well as Hope Gardens, which is a 321 housing unit in Brooklyn. The organizations we seek to partner with are, of course, our elected officials, our houses of worship in the area, those community services such as the hospitals, the police precincts, and the HRA offices, um, as well as having access to the parks and the playgrounds, things of that nature, and the schools. Our proposed services include workforce and vocational services, partnering again with those local organizations such as the Workforce One Center, the Job Plus organizations, and the Job Corp and Hope program. For medical, mental health, and substance use services, we're looking forward to partnering with our existing Carlos Pagan, but strengthening those relationships that we have with locations like Brookdale Hospital, Interborough, as well as the Community Healthcare Network in Riseboro. So the security of the facility. Acacia Network is committed to maintaining a clean, secure, and respectful environment for all residents, as well as staff in the surrounding community. So 24 hours security coverage will be provided by a contracted vendor. Controlled access to ensure residents and staff safety. There will be continuous building monitoring and camera surveillance, routine patrols of the facility and surrounding perimeter, hourly rounds by the operations and security staff, and then regular wellness checks will be conducted each shift. Staff will all be trained in crisis prevention intervention as well as trauma-informed practices. Our property management plan includes maintaining the building grounds in coordination with our licensed maintenance vendors to ensure clean and safe areas in and around the facility, daily maintenance rounds, routine unit inspections, and that would be for the dormitories, electronic work order systems for tracking and completion. There will be oversight by the Director of Program Operations that I mentioned earlier, as well as monthly extermination services and regular inspection and servicing of the building systems. Rennie's House stands as a place of safety, dignity, and opportunity where individuals are supported in rebuilding their lives to transition from homelessness into permanency. High quality and transitional housing for single adults and TG&C is what we seek to achieve. Trauma-informed and person-centered services is lead our work. Pathways to permanent housing and independence. Secure and supportive environments and collaborative community engagement is how we seek to accomplish those goals. With that, unless you have anything to add, Mr. Matthews, that was our presentation.
No, I don't. Thank you so much. I know that there's probably tons of questions for DSS, DHS, and ourselves. We just want to open the floor and answer whatever we can.
I'm sorry, Freddie. I'd like to make a point of correction. The site is it's located in Bushwick, not Bedford-Stuyvesant. This is in Bushwick.
Thank you. I was going to correct you, but thank you. And before you come to the community, you got to let them know. You just don't get a map and put a finger on the map and say, this is where we're going to go, and don't know where you're going to be. It's in Bushwick.
Understood. Thank you.
Our apologies. McGee and myself are both from Brooklyn. We know Bushwick and Bed-Stuy well. It's just an error.
This is Celeste, District Manager CB4. I have one question to get us started, and I'm sure others have additional questions to raise. Have neighbors been notified and provided with a contact to address any concerns? I only ask this because this is the first time the board has received a notification for a shelter without an address being provided. We were told it's going to be near a cemetery. The cemetery that it's being sited near is actually further north, away from the particular address that we know is not public at this time. So I just want to make sure that there are actions and steps being taken to notify folks who are going to be directly impacted by the shelter, and that they have a resource both at site and beyond at DSS if necessary to address concerns.
I also have a concern because under the city charter mandate, you are required to get public input and obviously, and notified. Obviously, you're not doing what the city charter mandates require you to do.
So thank you for this question. to explain, to be clear, the site is located at 629 Chauncey Street. Unfortunately, because of social service law, we were precluded from putting the address in writing. But I want everyone to be aware that it is at 629 Chauncey Street. We notified elected officials as well as yourself, Celeste, last October. And this is the start of the community engagement. So there's not been any engagement with neighbors, but this is the starting point where we hope to, continue conversations, listen to concerns, work to build out the community advisory board. Mr. Camacho, I've sat with you in other cabs for shelter sites, so we look forward to partnering with you. And to my knowledge, there is no violation of the city charter. We have complied with the legal mandate to notify in a timely fashion, as well as to attend this public meeting. This is required by law, and we thank you for that opportunity.
I'd like to just add on behalf of Agacia. So the normal process for original notifications is done by DSS and DHS. As a provider, we're unable to take any actions in the community until this public hearing is held. Now this public hearing has been held, we will follow our normal process. We recognize the importance of partnering with our communities. Usually what we'll do is we'll walk the surrounding areas. The leadership from both my VP and the leadership from the sites will pass out cards, distribution. We often will create what we do in our sites is we create an individualized email strategically for the community where they can file complaints and let us know everything going on in the community so we can act quickly. So these things do not get lost in other general email boxes. So we will begin this process starting next week. So we can go ahead and get that out there and begin to meet our neighbors, meet the people in the area. Like I said, McGee and I are from Brooklyn, but we're not from this block, and so we want to know the immediate people who live there, and we want to get to know them very well and partner with them, especially the local stores and the local schools. And so we will be taking those efforts beginning next week, now that this hearing has been held.
Right, we're gonna have a couple of board members, then we're gonna have the outside. Please, if you're gonna talk, please, let's not have a dialogue with them. Talk with us, let them answer, and then we'll keep going. Yeah, I can go up there. Ms. Spellings. Ms. Spellings, go ahead. Yeah, I could go up there, Ms.
Hi, my name is Courtney, Community Board 4. I just want to know how you guys plan to differentiate your shelter from some of these awful shelters that already exist. Half the time people, so it's going to make this different.
I would like to say that the second part of her question cut off. If somebody could repeat it, please.
I want to know what your place to a shelter that people actually want to be. The shelters are too violent. There's too much crazy going on. What is doing to differentiate your shelter from the shelters that exist now?
We're getting a lot of breakup. What I think I heard is that she wants to know how we're going to be different from some of the shelters she currently experiences in the community and some of the negative feedback they've received in the past. Did I capture that question okay?
That's correct.
Yes.
Okay. DHS, are we taking that, Acacia? Yes? Is that
Yeah.
okay? Okay, thank you. Obviously, I know that you guys have had experience in your communities, as we all have. We do try to make sure that we create environments that are conducive for our clients and make them want to be present within the community. We try to create a lot of activities and internal things going on in the recreation activities in the program to keep them inside and entertained. We are very engaging. We do maintain a good neighbor policy in which we have clear expectations for individuals about how they behave in the community and with our community members. Any violations identified in those are treated very severely by the Department of Homeless Services and will result in clients being transferred and removed from there. That's why we create the individual email specifically for that site so that we can get photos if necessary or direct information so individuals can be identified. Because the truth is, as much as we want to be responsible often when shelters are open in communities, we do get tied into other actions that happen there. And so it's important that we're able to differentiate our client activity versus other neighborhood activity or other shelter activities. But we are very eager to support in those methods. And so we do try to engage in that fashion. We are very open and we are very open in the way we manage our facilities. Acacia Network Housing has run many types of programs, many of them being environments in which we've had formerly unhoused people who didn't want to be in shelter. And we've invested a lot of time in removing those barriers and making shelters more comfortable environments for individuals, more safe environments that keep people inside and present with us. And of course, there's no clear cut answer that will resolve everything, but our open communication, we hope will be able to overcome any barriers that we may face.
And if I could add about the other shelters, shelters, as Mr. Matthews indicated, are required to have a good neighbor policy. The client signed that good neighbor policy, essentially a contract indicating that they will behave in a manner that's appropriate in the community. And so if there are folks in other shelters that are not abiding by the good neighbor policy and essentially not being good neighbors, you should let the community board know. Yuri is in direct contact with the community board. Ray is also in direct contact, who's in a room with you all, with the community board, and they will we will let DHS know and have a conversation about what could be done to ensure that folks are behaving properly in the community. I hear it. I hear your concern. I hear your frustration, but we try our best to make sure that our shelters are seamlessly integrated into the community. And if that's not happening, we want to know about it.
And finally, to add, right, we have a long history here. We had a former site. So there is oversight of the provider. DHS has oversight of the provider as well as the state. And many city agencies will be doing inspections and whatnot. There's a DHS program administrator and there are commissioners that are frequently in contact with the shelter site. And there are different steps, and if a provider is not meeting our expectations, we have no qualms, right? We will end a contract after they fail to meet the different standards that we set, right? But it's a process, and that we don't expect that with Acacia because we have a long history and we're very proud to partner with them, and we have full confidence that they will run a tight ship at this site.
Okay, my name is Annette Spellin. I'm from Community Board 4. I have a two-part question. What percentage of your clients are current or former Bushwick residents? And why a men's shelter and not a family shelter when we have families that need some place to stay as well?
I'll take the first part, which is identifying information regarding each individual. As the program is not yet opened, there are no clients that we can talk about their history or their past at this time. Until we have clients, we really can't identify any statistics. As far as the population decision, does IGA just want to discuss that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll take it. So our providers respond to open-ended RFP, right? So they find a building and they bring us the building, and we approve it based on a number of criteria. Most of the time, the building can accommodate so for family shelters, they require a kitchen, an individual unit, plus a bathroom in a unit. If the facility is set up for that, then we could make it into a families with children shelters. If it's not, then it becomes a congregate shelter for single adults. So it's based on the configuration of the building. Sometimes we build up from scratch and we can build these type of families with children shelters. Other times we're limited by the confines of what's already existing in a space. As Yuri indicated, this was already an existing shelter. And so that space was set up for a single adult. So this is going to be a single adult shelter. The other thing is that we have a steady influx of single adults. Yes, we have not tons, we have a lot of families with children that are facing homelessness, but there's also a less talked about population of single adult, particularly men, that are experiencing homelessness at a very high rate. And we have a responsibility to house those folks as well. And so at this very moment, the homelessness is being experienced by single adult men more than any other population. And so that's why a single adult male shelter is needed. One, for the because there is an influx of single adult men entering into the shelter system, and two, because the building was already configured to be a single adult congregate shelter and not have tier 2 units, or not have units with bathrooms and kitchens for individual families.
Hi, Pablo Rivera, Community Board 4 member. So part of the question I had, you already answered when you said that there was already a shelter there once. So now I'm interested in knowing what caused it to close down. The second question, you actually make me think of another question, right? The shelter is almost done already, right? It's done refurbishing, right? So what's the point of bringing it to us now, to the community, when you're already there? It should have came before that, right? Second, you say that it's not equipped for families. That's a even bigger problem because you're going to have single men walking around, going to the deli, eating outside. The summer is coming. They're going to be hanging out. Drugs will be there, like in every shelter, right? They're going to be drunk people outside. And as Celeste said before, we were told that this was near the cemetery. Well, a half a mile away is a big difference. Right next to the Community Board 4 office is a big question too. There's in that building, for example, in that building we have a program for young mothers, right? That they go there. We have they dispense food, right? We have a food pantry. There's a lot of stuff going on there. And you say that it's necessary. Yes, it's necessary, but the spot where it's located is very, very important and very important for us to know. Lastly, you said that you let elected officials know. I would like to know which the elected officials were that you let know, because we would have known then. So yeah, basically, I just want to state my opinion. And why come to us when it's too late? What are we going to do now? It's there. Thank you.
So
Is any, go,
thank you for the thank you for the comment. Just want to respond a little bit to what was said. It was noted that there will be drunk folks or persons possibly violating the good neighbor policy. Again, we will hold our clients responsible for the good neighbor policy, and anyone that presents at the front door, right? We have access control. We'll call EMS. No one can enter the facility drunk, right? That would be a medical emergency. We will have to, stabilize that person. No one can be at the site drunk, and then security will be doing, keeping an eye out, as well as shelter staff, to make sure that no one is, committing any crime or any violation of the good neighbor policy. And lastly, all of the elected officials were notified last October. We made phone calls, as well as we have those letters in writing. So we have complied with the legal requirement to do notifications. Shelter sites are not subjected to the ULERP process. So while we don't need a vote or co-signing the existence of the shelter site, we still have to engage. We still have to do a presentation and notify, and then work with the electeds and the community board to establish a CAB and speak to neighbors and respond to any complaints that come in from the borough president, from any office, any stakeholder. We have to. This is the start of it, and we plan to comply.
Felix Cevallo, CB4 member. Any kind of Chester is very important now, because we know what happened in this now in the snow. We know it was a lot of homeless pass away because they can be inside or any space. Now, my question is, what the qualification for people need be in the shelter, for example, when people don't have document? Thank you.
I can take that one. Do you want that one, Jamar?
No, you can take it.
Okay. Thank you for that. I think that it's important to note that I think this might be a miscommunication that individuals may have passed away because of their inability to be in shelter. I can't speak to who passed away in the community. What I can say is there are no restrictions to shelter. You do not have to be documented. Everybody is welcome, especially at Acacia. We service all populations, we service all individuals, and everyone is welcome within our doors. Actually, Acacia Network was actually the first provider to ever open a street homeless intake center. And basically, what the reason for that is what we find often is that the individuals that are residing in the street are doing so not because they're not welcome in shelter, because they don't feel comfortable for whatever reason being inside a shelter. It is a personal choice that they're making, either through some challenges they've experienced or mental health. And what we found was that a lot of them felt they were not necessarily in the best conditions. And so in that experience of us having run those intake centers, we've convinced hundreds of individuals to come off the street and return into shelter environments. And we carry that experience with us where we go into all of our programs and all of our shelters, creating trauma-informed practices. Maybe you feel comfortable so they don't have to choose to be outside. We want everybody to choose to come inside every single day. It is a choice. They are human beings and they have the right. But our goal is to overcome those barriers that make them not want to be inside. And I think Acacia has a longstanding record of actually doing so and convincing individuals to come into shelter and be safely housed where they can be cared for and not be subject to the unsafe environment in the streets or the unsafe weather conditions. And I'm really excited to be able to say that we've been part of that. And I'm happy to continue that process here and in many other shelters we run across the city.
Hello. Hello.
Oh, go ahead, Rosie. Sorry.
Hello. My name is Rosie Gellin, the Assistant Commissioner for DHS Single Adults. I just want to add, having lack of documents is not a barrier to shelter. We will accept all individuals who are seeking housing. And then once they come into the shelter unit, we will help them secure all the necessary documents that they need. As Mr. Matthews said, it is a choice sometimes clients choose not to come in. It's not that we have refused them for services. Thank you.
And then I'll just close out by saying, thank you for raising that point. I concur with Mr. Matthews that the very reason that we need these types of shelters is because, as you pointed out, sir, some individuals are choosing to stay outside and risk life and death in inclement weather, right? So we just had a public hearing recently where we were asked the question of which all of 20, I think it's 27 or 28 individuals that died recently during a cold snap were homeless clients. Some had recent homeless histories, others had homeless history 20 years ago. So there was a wide range of folks that died, unfortunately, due to those tragic circumstances. But I think your point is well taken. Folks need shelter resources. They need warm places to be so that they are not outside in the cold. And so that's precisely why we had to stand up these shelters, is to make sure that folks have what they need when the elements are happening, but also shelters are an opportunity to get on your feet, get the service that you need, stabilize, and then get connected to a voucher like City FEPS where you could transition back into the community. Many of the folks come from Bushwick. I can't give you an exact percentage of how many will come from Bushwick, but you all know some of the challenges that Bushwick is faced with in terms of development and displacement. So some of these folks will certainly be from Bushwick. And I'm just happy to point out that yes, there is an absolute need for shelter so that we are ensuring that folks are not outside in cold, inclement weather.
Hi, thank you for your responses. My name is Zachary Hendrickson, Community Board 4, and I also live just about 2 blocks from where the shelter is being planned to be built. And I have 2, I guess, clarifying questions. I'm referring here to slide 11 from the presentation for everybody following along. I've heard a lot of folks refer to this as a single men's shelter, but per the slides, it says that the program would serve single women from the general population, as well as transgender and gender nonconforming people. So I'm wondering if we could clarify the population that will be here, just to make sure we're all talking about the same thing. And then in terms of key features, it talks about a focus on rapid transition to permanent housing. I think we may be talking tonight with a little bit too broad of a brush. Shelters are very wide, right? They're all different kinds of housing shelters. And it sounds to me like what we're talking about here is a very focused transitional housing program designed to have people in for short periods of time and get them transitioned into permanent housing, rather than a sort of day shelter where people are in and out, by the day, and it's less focused and less programmed. So that's my understanding in reading through this. And I would like clarity on those two things. And if I could then ask one last question related to what one of my fellow board members said. I understand the location is very close to the current community board office. The other community board member who spoke mentioned the different services there. I'm curious if relationship to other services is actually something that goes into consideration when choosing a site, because to me that would seem like a positive thing, actually, because people throughout the day, right, would have access to different services and access to different types of things that they may need, rather than just being sort of out and about, which there seems to be some concern about in the room. So if you could please clarify those two things from slide 11, as well as talk about how you choose site and in terms of relationship to services in the neighborhood, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
I think those can go either way. You want Acacia to take that, or GA, or can I speak to the population? I can speak. Okay. So first, let me speak to the slide a little bit. If it stated women in there anywhere, that was an error. The slide should state males at this time. We did discuss TGNC, and so Acacia Network is a TGNC friendly provider. And so what we do is in all of our programs, we try to identify TGNC beds that are available. Ultimately, it's up to DHS, the Department of Homeland Services, to determine how many will be and if they will be. But the site will not be a TGNC site. It will be a male site. But however, because of our practices, because of the way we manage, we do welcome TGNC into all of our programs and try to create some special dormitories for them. We have them in some of our other programs, which was mentioned in there. And so we do hope to have some here. And then, of course, regarding the population, DHS has to meet the need of the community. And so sometimes these things do change. And so there was discussions early on about women versus male. And of course, potential for that to be different in the future. But as of right now, it is a male designated site. And we hope to have some TGNC designated beds within that site, but it will not be a TGNC location. As far as the selection of the location, it is a partnership between all members to identify locations and identify areas that our clients can thrive. At Acacia Network, we do not choose to open shelters in the vast limits of the city where there aren't services. We are very eager to be right in these communities where we live, where we service individuals, and we really hope that we can partner well with everyone. I know that earlier the gentleman said, why now? Again, DSS and DHS handle news notifications, but for us, this is the most exciting time. We get to finally engage. We get to start building relationships. We get to start building partnerships. We get to start building linkages in the communities. We have some already because we have other programs, but they're a few miles away from there. And so we're really excited to be able to start partnering very closely and create linkages right here to ensure our clients have services and they are supported by, I know, many members in the communities that are eager to provide quality services to people who need help. Thank you.
Okay. All right. We have.
Okay, it's Courtney again from Community Board 4. I'm just wondering why we're only being addressed now that it's already done. Why was it not done earlier before the Community Board? And secondly, a red flag was raised when the young lady said that if somebody would be put out, that means that you're putting people out into the community that are drunk or on drugs. I don't understand what you're saying there. And this is why I was asking you before, are there special programs in place that are going to make you different than other shelters? Just throw the shelter.
Thank you for your comment. And to be clear, I did not state, at no point was it stated that someone will be put out. We will get someone the medical help that they need should they present drunk or under the influence of some other substance, right? We will never, ever put someone out. We have a curfew, so we do a count. If someone misses curfew and they do not have a pass, so residents that are working would have a pass, right? They will communicate their hours, provide the documentation. So we will be aware. We will hold that bed. They will have a pass. If someone misses curfew, we will transport them to another site where there is vacancy. Under no circumstances would anyone be put out of the shelter site. That is against our mandate. We have a legal and a moral obligation to provide shelter. If someone calls me at midnight and said, hey, someone needs a ride, someone needs to go to intake, I will answer that phone and I will be of assistance.
And thank you, Yuri. I know Yuri is speaking on behalf of DSS and IGA. On behalf of Acacia, I want to say is that we have a lot of experience dealing with the population. As you can see from the earlier slides, we actually do run substance abuse programs. It's something we do in our network. We really thrive on being an integrated network, being able to help clients holistically, so we can get them directly to doctor's appointments, to medical programs. We can bring them substance abuse programs, all within our own network. And so we are really well versed in handling this. I will say that we have already developed a monitoring area in this program, and so there is a room designated on the first floor for anybody that comes in that may need to be additionally monitored before we allow them to either go upstairs or make a decision. Being slightly inebriated is not reason for hospitalization. As she stated earlier, we will call EMS should anybody be extremely intoxicated and need support, but we have staff on hand that's able to support, that's able to work with these individuals. We have monitoring areas so that they want them to come inside, be with us, be in a safe environment, and be closely monitored until they're either ready to report up to their room or until they're not appropriate to be inside, and then we will contact EMS. We even also have vehicles on site, so we do our own escorts to try to avoid being overburdensome to some of the other community services. And so all those things are going to be available within programs run by Acacia Network.
Anyone else?
CB4, you mentioned that you let the elected officials know and that you let the community board four know. My question is, did you let the people who live on that block know? I can almost guarantee you that that block has a block president. And so if you really want them to know, that's the person you need to contact. Because what you're doing is that's sort of like you being my house guest, you spending the night and you throwing a party and you're not inviting me, nor do I know about it. So you need to let them know. And I guarantee you they will come out. And, if you want full transparency, they have to know. And the reason why they have to know is because they're children in the neighborhood and people have their other stigmas and they have other things that have, past traumas. So they need to know. They don't need to be thrown into the fire as the fire has already began. They need to know. Thank you.
So we have a community engagement process which starts after this. So after the community board meeting, our community engagement process begins. We will make contact with the block president, did you say?
Yes, the block president. I guarantee if you go to that block, go to that block tomorrow. I guarantee you they have a block president.
Yeah, we'll
They
make
have a block. It's very easy to find out. Just pick somebody, see somebody coming out of the house. Hey, how you doing? We're putting a shelter here. Who's the block president?
Okay, we'll make
What
contact
else?
with that person. We also have a community advisory board, which is members of the community board, elected officials office all join together to have conversations about the shelter. If there are quality of life issues, if there are ways to participate and help the shelter, we have those conversations in the community advisory board. We like this person that you've identified to be a part of that. And so I think Ray is in a room with you all today. If you know who that person is, Ray can get that person's contact information, or we could do our research and find them ourselves. But please do share if you can. But we're happy to add people like that to our community advisory board.
The most important person like I said, that's going to be at that party or the event is the people who live there. So us here, the people, community board, the elected officials, you don't live there. None of you guys live there on that block. I don't know that to be true, but I suspect not. But they need to know. Not a surprise party. They need to know. End of story. Thank you.
We have
Hi, I just have a question. I'm here as a concerned citizen and okay, bring it down. Okay, hi, I'm here as a concerned citizen. I just have a question. Adelina. It says that 145 beds, and I was wondering what's the configuration? How many beds per room and how many rooms in that building? No, I don't think so. And then a lot of shelters are only evening programs and the residents are not allowed during the day. But I see that you said you have a 24/7 supportive housing environment. So are the residents welcome there 24 hours a day? Those are my two questions. Thank you.
I could take the second question first. That was a policy in the past. So previously, clients were required to leave the shelter during the day. That's no longer the case. There is an exhaustive amount of programming that's happening in shelter throughout the day. And so clients are able to stay in shelter all day long. The expectation is not that they're laying in bed all day, but there's programming happening. There's breakfast, there's lunch, there's dinner. All of those things happen outside of the confines of their rooms. And so, yes, shelter is no longer asking folks to leave during the day, and that there is robust programming happening throughout the day. And Freddie, I don't know if you want to take the first question.
Yes, as far as the dormitories and the configuration, there are a little over 40 dorms in the facility. They have multiple configurations. So they are singles, doubles, triples, quads throughout the facility with community bathrooms and showers.
Commissioner, I know you very well. I hope that you serve this community with dignity and with respect to make sure that our people, any one of us, can be homeless. As you see, fires in Bushwick, and we're losing our families and our places. I'm just a little concerned. Also, are you homeless Section 3 workers? If you are, we got kids that want to work. Are you homeless securities? If you are, we have kids that have security within Bushwick and that can use. 1, 2, you indicated you're going to do the advisory board. And my important question is, I know there was an RFP. And RFP, the age, the program, and male, females. So you're saying, you know, it's going to be like everybody. And now you're saying it's something that, what is your RFP required? Maybe we can speak to Ray or that in regards to the RFP and making sure that the advisory board reflects the community that is representing the block associations or people from within this. Some says proposed services. What does proposed mean? You got rise boom. So are they proposed? You got hope. I know we had a hope program in Bushwick that just opened. So they're on here too as proposed. So I want to ask them question, what does proposed mean? Are you going to interact with some of these?
I'm sorry, we're losing you over here.
That you're
So the mic is cutting in and out, and we missed the majority of what you said.
side people from that we can work with the community. So we had Wyco, we had Woodhall, and you indicated they propose services because it says propose. So they saying that they're with you. You're proposing that, so on there, aren't they?
Okay, so I'll take part of that. So first is, so you cut off for the majority of, we heard every like third word, and so I'm trying to guess the majority of those questions. I was very clear on hearing that the question regarding proposed service.
Maybe,
As I
expected this community was go back and forth. And I hope the commissioner can understand that we need to see the people that we're dealing with, not on the TV, because now you're saying you don't hear. Those are just excuses that people make just because they don't want to answer the question. That's just my opinion. But, you know, everybody has an opinion. But I think your face should have been here to address this community. I feel disheartening as a leader in this community board that you, people that are opening in a site to service our people, are not here to address this. And now I got to answer the question that you guys saying because you don't hear. Well, you indicated here that you got the program, Hope program, and it says purpose services. We don't know if they are or they aren't. You have Riseboro here. So are they with you? Aren't they with you? And or not? Are there Section 8 workers that you're having? And you did an RFP. Is the RFP, what does the RFP says in regards to who's going to be in that? Male, female, gender, who? Because you put the RFP, because you're putting one thing in the paper and then you're saying another thing. So we want to have clarity. So when people on that block walk by and say, these are the people they have there, what's going on, we know what to tell them.
Understood. So first, I want to say that again, I reiterate that we were informed it was moves virtually. We would have been happy to be there. I planned on being there today. And we were happy to come out there and meet with you very soon and speak with all the community members face to face. I have not avoided not a single question. I intend not to avoid a single question, and I'm answering everything that you ask, and I'm happy to do so today, tomorrow, and every upcoming week beyond that, because we partner with our communities, and that means you and your constituents. Regarding the RFP, so RFPs are not population based. The city has the vendors apply for populations for adult services. So we write an RFP for adult services having no idea whether it's going to be male or female. We don't know that in advance. We know that we want to run adult services. We're prepared to run either population. We have experience with both. Shelters take sometimes years to get open. And so at the time of the opening, DHS determines what is the greatest need, whether it's male or female, and we're prepared to manage both. If DHS says tomorrow they want females, we will manage females because we've done that very frequently. We're capable to do both, and we're staffed to handle both. At this given time, we're being told it will be males, and that's what we plan to service. The RFP is written for adult services and does not specifically state any gender. Gender is determined at the time of opening by the Department of Homeless Services. That's your first part. I hope that answers that first part. If not, I'll be happy to elaborate if you have a follow-up. Regarding the proposed services, again, this presentation is written by Acacia Network, not by IGA, DSS, or DHS. And we are unable to speak to the community prior to this meeting. So those people who are proposed are people that we've partnered with in the past in other Brooklyn locations that we've had partnerships with. Now that we're able to speak and we can talk about the shelter publicly, we will reach out to them individually, specifically and directly. However, I have to tell you that often frequently changes once we get in front of the community board, because often you're going to recommend better contacts, better linkages, and better partners that are closer in the environment, that are more prepared to do that. So those everybody we intend to link with, we've linked with them in the past. We really hope that you guys are going to support us identifying who are the best people, who are the right ones for us to link with, who do we have to be speaking to. We identified today the block president, somebody we got to communicate with. And so we're here to learn from you as much as you're here to learn about who Acacia is. This partnership begins today, but it's going to last for a very long time. We'll continue to get to know each other very, very well. I think you will find that we are very good people. We have really good hearts, is why we do this service. And we are committed to finding the best possible services, linkages, and building the best partnership with your community. And we're really excited that it's starting today. And that's all we can speak to, because Acacia does not have any authority to speak to anybody prior to today's meeting.
All right, jobs, Section 3 workers,
Local jobs.
yes.
So, so local jobs, yes, we actually strive to hire from the community. We'll be doing a job fair. We'll be doing a job fair in that community next month. in efforts to staff up both that and other of our programs. We were meeting with IGA the other day. We asked for permission to share all of our future job fair flyers so that we can coordinate. And so we won't only be hiring for that program, but we're hiring for all of our programs across New York City. Just today, we partnered Lincoln Rethler's office, got notification of a job fair in his community that we're doing. And so, we plan to do those same notifications here. We'll be going forward where you guys are partner with us. We'll be able to do hire local community members. We welcome you guys all to work with us. The best people to partner with and to service the population is the people who come right from where we are. Right. And so we're looking forward to that. And that will be occurring now that we have the ability to speak openly.
We have CB4 have a job portal. We'll submit our portal so you can submit all your flyers, whatever it is, and people can get on there. And we'll tell the people to get on there to apply for these jobs from within the community. I know Lincoln Wrestler very well, so I don't know about his district, but I'm talking about mine, so I don't know why he doesn't his. That's his. I'm speaking about mine. But yes, we'll follow up with you in regards to the job, and also when you create the advisory board, and if you want to go knock on doors like elected officials do when it's time to sign petitions, maybe you should knock on doors and tell them that you're here and that you are willing to work, and put your card under their door instead of bring a cake or something and say, this is what we're here to help you and to serve you, and that's what we're here for. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have one or a couple of follow-up questions, but city records show that this property is no longer owned by a community-based organization. We know that this site was formerly owned by the Bushwick Economic Development Corporation. It was sold to an LLC. How much is the landlord receiving for this site to be utilized as a shelter? And what are the lease terms? Is there an option to renew?
IGA, you guys taking that one?
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, this is a 5-year lease with renewal. As far as the rent, is that finalized, Freddie? We may have to follow up because I know these figures are not, yet finalized.
Yeah, some of the figures are finalized, but the rent numbers are finalized. I don't know the city's policy on how to share, but yeah, the rent numbers are finalized for the LLC.
I know that some of your locations, like you said, just want to address the board. You don't have to answer it if you don't want to. But if you go to problems with Acacia Network, homeless shelters, it says undisclosed conflict of interest, poor living conditions and maintenance, safety violations, maintenance and staff issues, fiscal security and executive pay, correction on actions being taken care of. So we hope that this don't happen in our Bushwick side, because we'll be there addressing these issues and concern. And I hope the commissioner also can work with us to make sure that this doesn't happen.
You can't believe everything you hear, but you can believe what you see. And so we're going to welcome you to come see us directly, how we manage, how we supervise, and how we run these locations. And we look forward to that opportunity to show you what a great provider we are and all the great testimonials we have. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I believe we have one person on Zoom, and then we can wrap up. We just want to make sure both folks in person and folks participating virtually have a chance. The person who has their hand raised, can we allow them to speak? I cannot see their name yet. Oh, Nima? Yeah. Go ahead.
Hi, sorry, I didn't mean to raise my hand. That was my mistake.
No
But
problem.
thank you for the presentation.
I see Z. Go ahead, Z. You can unmute.
Yes, hi there. Good evening, Z, community board member. First of all, thank you for the presentation. And I
Z,
feel
you're
like
very
my
low. Your voice is
colleagues
very
also-
low. We can barely hear you.
I'm so sorry. Okay, I try to speak as loud as I can.
Okay, sounds good.
I want to welcome everybody and everything. Just a quick question is, now that you're in the community and you already have established yourself, you already established yourself in the community. Are you aware there is a bar not far from your location? And two, now that you're are going to come to our community, how many of you on this panel actually live in Bushwick? Not in Brooklyn, but just in Bushwick, because I know some of you may live in Brooklyn or not, especially you, Mr. Matthew, which is honorable that you said you were or still live in Brooklyn. I'm not sure. So my question is, are you aware of the bars that are near your location as well? And why here? I mean, everything seems to be Williamsburg and Bushwick. Why not somewhere down in Brooklyn as well? I'll just give it back to you. Thank you.
So I will say neither McGee nor I live in Bushwick. We do not live directly in Bushwick. And I was not aware of the bar. Usually that's not the locations that we track initially, like where the local bars are. We do go visit every local community shop within the immediate surrounding area. And so there is a a bar that we will identify, but we don't identify bars in our normal process of reviewing. We identify more public spaces, and then we meet the local businesses and we go out into the community.
And as far as Z, I know you were asking who lives in Bushwick. I'm one neighborhood away, right? I can publicly say that I am in Bedford-Stuyvesant, and there's a shelter right across the street from where I reside, and there are many others within a close radius.
Ray Carrero, who's also here in person, confirmed that he lives in Bushwick as well.
Can I say something now? Can I speak now? Okay. See what I mean? This is what we get, and we can't talk in our community. Hello? The reason why people are frustrated, with the politicians and everything that come over here, because you're judgmental. I hear, and it's a word game going on. I'm a World Trade Center survivor, okay? I had a fire and lost everything I had with my kids. I had to go in a shelter. A shelter. Nobody has a heart here. A shelter, okay? And now I'm living here. And there's so much going on within the community that we can't speak. Did you see how long I had to get everybody's attention like I'm not here? I'm from this community. I'm not from Bedford-Stuyvesant. I'm not from East New York. You're talking about things in other areas. What about the residents in Bushwick and how we feel? Politicians are not telling the truth. They may sit here and tell you that they give us jobs in our community. No, they don't. They make promises they don't keep. They don't do anything for us. They don't do anything for us. Okay? And there's another thing I would like to say. And I'm just going to say it. And it is what it is. And the more I come here, I just hear a wordplay from everybody. And it makes no sense. It's not compassionate. That lets us know how you're coming to the community. The wordplay don't make no sense. I'm going to be straight with you, as real as possible. This place is racist, okay? It's racist. And we come and we talk to you. We try to use other words so you can understand us. All the Spanish people get help. What about us? What about us? What about jobs and community? Do anybody know how experienced I am? Like I said, I was a World Trade Center survivor. I have accounting experience. I sit here and I try to let you know, but I'm not acknowledged. I'm not acknowledged. Someone Spanish could sit up here and talk for an hour. As soon as we start speaking, we get cut off. We get cut off. You say you have jobs for the community? Well, I was here from Hope Gardens. I was here for Pinnacle, because this is my community. Nobody don't know what's going on, okay? And now I'm here with Wavecrest. You come over here and you say what you're gonna do for the community, and you do nothing. It's unfair. We need help too. We pay our rent. Do you know how hard it is? Do you know how hard it is? Or do not nobody know what's going on in the entire world right now? You see the judgment? You see the judgment? Do you see the judgment that's put on us? That is not fair I say something. I heard something about Acacia Network. They help us. They help us. Why don't have no authority to do? Why all that? Why all that? She helps us. Help is what you're saying you're bringing to the community. But you're literally shooting down everyone that tries to help us. And it's not right. It's not right. And you expect people to come here and not be frustrated? Not be frustrated? I pay my rent all the time. You know what Hope Gardens is doing to me? They stressing me out. I pay my rent. They doing it purposely. You know why? Because people think they know something about me. And you're wrong. Everything is a reason for everything. We're all adults. We're all adults. We can see right now that people are going to come over here wrong. People are going to come over here wrong. We're not going to play a word game. We're not going to play a word game. We see through it. That's why you don't let us speak. And when you get frustration, you get offended, not thinking, what the hell are these people going through over here? That's caring. That's caring. That's caring. I hear judgmental about a shelter. You would rather keep somebody. There are different types of shelters. Okay? You don't judge no one because they came from a shelter. Okay? There's shelters for battered women. There's shelters for homeless men. There's shelters for people that had a fire and lost everything. They treat them accordingly. It's not like they don't do anything. Okay? But what about here? What about here? I'm done with the judgmental of everything else. What about here? Because mental illness does not mean stupid. I'm very educated. I went to college. The word play around, what do you think we don't understand? That's why we can't ask questions. That's why we can't ask questions. This is why we're frustrated, because you're pulling everybody away from us that helps us, that literally keeps it real and helps us. Camacho should still be here. There's no reason, because he helps the community. He helps us. What's the problem with that? Can anybody tell me what's the problem with that? He doing what he's supposed to do. So is Paula. Why is there so much ridicule? Because I don't like this one. I don't like the way this one said this. I don't want, aren't we adults? You can see the tension. And I'm sorry for raising my voice.
No, it's okay.
I'm going to apologize for raising my voice. Maybe I'm coming off too strong. I apologize. But that is build up frustration for nobody helping us, nobody caring. This is frustration. We talk over people because you don't let us talk, or you disregard anything we feel. This man said things that goes on in this community. That's important. But we're not getting that. We're not getting that. You don't have respect enough if somebody's leaving to learn what they do because they help the community. Because you help the community. All I'm seeing is back and forth and no understanding. If everybody went to school here, there's something called psychology. Something called psychology. And it's just a wordplay game here. I'm sorry I'm upset. Just like I said, I'm frustrated. Thank you for hearing me out, because that's something I don't get to do. And this is why.
I have three questions that Evelyn Cruz from the Congresswoman are required. What elected officials sign on? How many men in the shelter in that area? And who is the landlord?
Regarding the elected official sign on, there's no elected official sign on required for a shelter site, this particular shelter, right? As I stated before, it's not subjected to ULURP. So we notify and then we partner to build out the CAB and to address any concerns or complaints and even partnership. But there's no elected official sign on. No elected official has adopted the site as yet. Don't want to pre-speak.
How many men on a shelter in the area? How many men shelter in the area?
Well, we'll have to get back to you on that question.
And who is the landlord? Who gonna pay the rent? The money, ching ching. Ray, you gonna get the money, Ray? No one knows the landlord?
The landlord that said an LLC. I don't know the exact LLC name, but we can share. We can have work with IGA to share it.
Okay, thank you. That's the end of our public comment. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, everyone from DSS and Acacia for being here. We will certainly follow up, and we look forward to hearing back from you with the follow-up questions that you weren't able to answer this evening. Thank you. All right, so we will move on now to the second public hearing item. CB4 leadership will review. This is just going to be a summary. I hope folks read the executive board meeting report where everything is in detail. Every year the board is asked. I'm going to show this document. It was sent to all the board members. If anyone from the public would like a copy, happy to make this available. It is on OMB's website. It will also be available on the board's website. Essentially what this is a list of all of the budget requests that the board submitted in the fall. Some of you may know the board actually starts the city's budget process off. It was the original participatory budgeting. We do not have money. However, what the board requests may shape how the budget is characterized throughout the rest of the cycle. And I'm going to summarize some of the agencies that we reviewed, and then if any folks have anything that you would like to add, really this conversation is about the agency responses. So I'm going to give you an example. For the Brooklyn Public Library, the board requested create a new or renovate or upgrade an existing public library. And this was about the DeKalb Library is in need of an interior renovation, heating, cooling, and other infrastructure safety improvements, and a sustainability project for site drainage. We work closely with the Brooklyn Public Library to identify these needs and to make sure that they're featured in this form. The agency supports and can accommodate. And so some of these improvements are currently funded. Additional capital funding would further support these improvements. It's an excellent response, very clear. Not every agency provides clear responses. I'll give another example. Should probably be mindful about what example I give. Let's see. I'll pick, I'll go to the next page. This is for HPD. Affordable housing, provide more housing for extremely low and low income households. The agency supports and can accommodate, and they provide a detailed explanation. It's very broad. So HPD will make use of all the tools in our toolbox, including tax exemption, subsidy, and low-income housing tax credit. And then it notes that the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, is responsible for setting AMI. They will work to create affordable housing at all tiers wherever possible. The executive board noted that while this is supportive and favorable, it doesn't really specify how HPD is accomplishing that within the district. So I've characterized this. If there are any other comments on the budget request, anyone would like to make a suggestion for a budget request, I will open this up to the board and anyone from the public. Now. All right. Folks can come up to the mic in the middle. If you have anything to say, just name and affiliation. And if there are no comments, anyone on Zoom? All right. So we will accept testimony if you would like to provide by email to bk04@cb.nyc.gov through the end of this week. And if there's nothing else, we will move on from this item. All right.
This ends our public hearing item. Regular meeting will start now. First roll call, Celeste, please. Can I get the attendance? We're going to do the roll call first. After the roll call, then we'll have, y'all can get on the line. Only board members first, then after the board members, if the public would can eat. We have someone here.
So
Thank you.
Issa Abney is absent. He did inform the district office. Stephanie Anderson. Yep. Joanna Bennett. Robert Camacho. Felix Ceballos. Andrew Choi. Freddie Fowler. Joanna Fuentes Singh has resigned. Alan Gamboa. Jason Gares is absent. He informed the district office. Christopher Graham. Ann Guiney. Elaine Hamilton. Zachary Hendrickson. Courtney Henley. Deborah Hicks. Tanisha Honeygan.
Present.
Barbara Jackson. Gotcha, Barbara. Virgie Jones. Tara Jones Thomas. Luisa Jose. Giovanni Justiniano. Nancy Keith. Cindy LeBron. Christine Malden. Ramika Nichols Barnes. Zuma Novoa.
Present.
Gotcha, Z. Cirilo Nunez. Shrey Richardson is absent. Informed the district office. Pablo Rivera. Raul Rubio. Eliseo Ruiz. Josue Salazar. Josue. Got you. Milagro Sandoval. Juan Serra is excused. Annette Spellin. B. Speederman. James Stewart. Christian Tate. Selena Tays is excused. Ben Tucker. Jerry Valentine.
Present.
Got you, Jerry. Linda Whitfield. 26 members constitutes a quorum. Thank you, everyone. And for folks that did not sign in, please sign. All right. And as Mr. Camacho mentioned, board members may help themselves at this time to a meal this evening. We will move on with the regular meeting agenda, so please try to stay as quiet as possible. Is there a motion to accept the agenda this evening? Okay. So Ms. Spellin beat you to it. Do you mind seconding, Christian? All right. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Motion to accept the previous meeting minutes. Raul Rubio made the motion. Second by who? By Felix Ceballos. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. And next we have the parliamentarian's note. Ms. Bennett.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Joanna Bennett, Parliament. Can you hear me? Yeah. Good evening, everyone. This is Joanna Bennett, parliamentarian, CB4. Still can't hear me? Okay. Okay, fine. I'm glad to see that people are introducing themselves and the agencies that they're from. That's so important. Last week, there was a gentleman who kept, interrupting the meeting out of order. We want to encourage people to participate in the meeting. However, you must be recognized by the chairperson. Mr. Camacho walks around with the microphone. That is his job, to recognize people who want to speak and address issues. That's very important. My style for that gentleman was, I want to encourage him to participate in community board meetings. My style is to, again, pull him to the side, speak to him, and remind him about procedures. What we don't have is a sergeant of arms. Otherwise, he would have been ejected. I hope he continues to participate. This is participating in community board meetings is an exercise in democracy. And we should all take note of that. It gives everyone in the community a chance to speak, to express their points of view, and to participate in the development of this community. So please remember that. And please remember to invite your neighbors. Yes, we speak on behalf of our neighbors oftentimes, but we need more participation from our community. So that's all I have to say as parliamentarian. Again, please address your questions to our chair.
Thank you, Madam Parliamentarian.
Thank you.
Next, we have the 83rd Precinct report. Deputy Inspector.
Good evening, everyone. Deputy Inspector Maffey, Commanding Officer at 83rd Precinct. Thank everyone for attending, as usual. A couple of updates. First off, we did get 30 officers newly assigned to the 83rd Precinct, so I brought down half of them. I really wanted to have them engaged and interactive with the community, so I brought them to the meeting. So my crime update. Since we've last met, the 83rd Precinct has responded to 8,300 911 calls, which is up 200 from this time last year. In addition to that, we've responded to 1,800 311 calls. Those are the non-emergency calls for service you guys do through the 311 system. That puts us about second place out of the 10 commands in Patrol Borough Brooklyn North. I mentioned last time robberies. We were struggling with school youth robberies, and we were struggling with nightlife robberies. We have made arrests on both those types of robberies. We are able to identify a few juveniles. None of them lived in the 83rd Precinct. We were able to make some apprehensions. This was all their first time being arrested. So now the resource and the agency and the outreach occurs with them to try to get them to go down a better path. Regarding the nightlife robberies, it was the exact opposite. The two individuals we arrested, them combined, have equal 55 arrests between the two of them throughout their lifetime. So we knew who they were, the kind of repeat chronic offenders, and so we were able to identify them pretty quickly. Regarding the burglaries, we are seeing a lot of residential common area burglaries, so hallways, storage rooms, basements, any type of closets that were in the staircases. Those were most of our burglaries. We were able to identify 4 chronic repeat perpetrators that were doing such. We were able to make apprehensions. Those 4 individuals were all issued bail, so they're still in. Those 4 individuals within their lifetime account for 186 arrests among the 4 of them. Chronic repeat offenders within the 83rd Precinct. Unfortunately, on February 26th at 174 Jefferson Street, we had a construction site accident. There was a building under construction. 2 construction workers that were at work were injured. Unfortunately, one of them passed away. That's currently being investigated by Department of Buildings as far as permitting and what exactly happened, if there was some type of negligence or just kind of like some type of accident. Wyckoff and Myrtle came up a little bit last meeting, so I just want to mention we did do 3 operations along our Wyckoff and Myrtle corridor. Wyckoff going all the way up to Flushing is considered that corridor. One of them was related to weed truck complaints. So the Q team did an operation. We identified a marijuana truck operating illegally. So we seized 300 products from that truck, as well as we took the truck as well. So it's not driving around anymore. Food vendors along Wyckoff corridor, we did 2 operations where we issued 6 summonses. We closed one of the trucks. We also seized 2,000 pounds of food to be donated and 1,300 pounds of food to be used for compost. That was in coordination with Department of Health and DSNY. Just to sum up, we related to traffic concerns. So we are down in overall traffic accidents, cars, 2-wheel device, pedestrians. We're down 9 accidents from when this time last year. Something we did see was the streets in Bushwick are very narrow in some parts. So illegal parking greatly affects drivability in the command. So we focus on some parking conditions since we last met. The 83rd issued 400 parking summonses in Bushwick since we've last met. I feel like that's helping us with our accident control because the streets are a little bit more wide open. So that's my crime report, and I'll open it up to any questions if anybody has anyone. Thank you.
Any questions? We got 1, we got 2 here. Anyone on Zoom, Celeste, or you don't?
Thank you. My name is Louisa. I'm a resident, and I also work for the Brooklyn Public Library. I noticed in our 2 big storms in January and February that the walking along DeKalb, the sidewalks in front of your 2 parking lots there were not like shoveled at all. And I put in some 311 complaints and they still weren't shoveled. So I was just wondering if you could respond to that and sort of the public safety element of not shoveling your sidewalks.
Yeah, so that's not the 83rd precinct. That's the Brooklyn North Borough. I have a contact if you'd like to reach out. We've gotten that complaint before. When we helped contact the complainer with the building of the borough, it was able to be addressed. So I don't know if they have access to the 311 system to see that complaint, but the 83rd isn't responsible for shoveling that. That would be the borough. So it's almost like the headquarters for Brooklyn North. It's just a different building, but we can give you a contact. Yeah? Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
I understand why you do certain things because you're trying to protect the community, but what about your police officers that don't act the way they should? They're here to protect and serve.
Yeah.
Can I tell you what I saw? And this was the 83rd precinct. It was a little young boy, a little young black boy. He got robbed. He got robbed. Do you know what the police did to him? Everybody is on the block and saying, no, he got robbed. He got robbed. But you took him, you threw him to the ground. No listening. No trying to see who's right or who's wrong. No trying to see that. That's not unacceptable. That's unacceptable for us too.
Yeah.
Okay? Another thing. Some of your officers need to be trained better to deal with mental health people. Okay? To deal with mental health people at your precinct. Okay? They don't understand, so they're extremely rough when somebody has an episode. Okay? I'm going to tell you because I had an episode. You come out with your guns, and my son is trying to tell you how to handle me. That's my child. Let me talk to him. I was dragged out of my house with no shoes on by a police officer from the 73rd precinct. 83rd precinct, I'm sorry. I kept coming. As an American citizen, okay, I kept coming. Nobody wouldn't talk to me. Nobody wouldn't talk to me. I had bruises. I'm a woman. I'm a little woman. A man don't have to treat me like that. I had asthma. Do you know how many police officers jumped on me? And I'm literally saying I can't breathe. And these are like 10 men. That's excessive force. This is why people have a reaction, because it's not fair. You don't even stop to listen about a situation. You judge. You take action. We can't explain. That's just I'm not saying that your thing is all wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Because you do have some officers with a heart. You have a domestic violence unit, that's amazing. Okay? But that helps people. What about everybody else? It's a reason why people are like that. You know? I'm sorry.
All right. So just to so you absolutely deserve proper customer service as members of the community when dealing with the police, right? So if you feel like you're not receiving that, one, I hold my officers accountable. Two, the command isn't necessarily structured to address that, but you have Department of Investigation and Internal Affairs. So if you have an issue with how you were treated by an officer, or if you feel like the officer did something he shouldn't have done, or he acted in an inappropriate way, she mentions the word excessive force, right? Notification to Internal Affairs and or notification to DOI. And then they open up a case for that, and it's done by a third party. So, and that's for a reason. So they will investigate that without any members of the 83rd involved, so they can do it impartially.
James Stewart, CB4 Deputy Inspector. I just want to add CCRB, Civilian Complaint Review Board as well.
And that kind of falls under the Internal Affairs Bureau, but yeah, also CCRB. Okay.
I know sometimes we have someone from CCRB here. Sometimes they come to the meeting, so you know, sometimes when they come and they come at the beginning or at the end, they identify themselves. I can speak to them, and it'll be confidential. You can do your due diligence there, and if you also had a problem, please let the community board know, for we can address those issues. Okay. We wonder.
And when your officers say, "Oh, she had a mental illness problem," blah blah blah, how does that help me? I don't have a fighting chance. This is what's happening. This is what's happening.
Let me go.
You say service? You should. Some people don't want to go to where you're telling them to go. Some people want to try to work it out. Law-abiding citizens.
Without the mic, folks
right.
cannot hear on Zoom,
We're
so
not-
they have no idea what's happening.
All right. We're gonna.
Oh, I wonder if if you know if the man that passed was from the community. Was he from the worker that passed? Because that was actually on my street, and I would love to reach out to the family if that was someone in the Bushwick community, one of the workers, or
yeah.
the workers that were injured and the one that was killed on the construction site.
We didn't put that information out publicly, but maybe that's something we could do with some of the community agencies to look into. I can do that like on the side.
Could the family have to be notified that people get there first before we do? Yeah, first, and making sure because you don't want to put their name out there like that.
Yep.
I know.
So, all right, we need to, Camacho, folks don't understand what's happening right now. In person
okay,
or on
no,
Zoom.
what I'm saying is that they would have to notify the family first, and the family would have to give consent because, it's their family that you don't know.
Privacy issue.
Yes, privacy. So I'm just addressing her, letting her know. Anyone else? If not, I have one concern that they gave me, one complaint. I had spoke to the captain about that, but I haven't got the 311 complaint from the individual that physically called me, and it was a teacher that said she wanted to use the bathroom in the precinct.
Okay.
That bathroom, Talentino put there for the people in the community. You have the inside. I'm not talking about the inside. I'm talking about it in the vestibule. She wasn't given access to the bathroom. She said she called 311, made a 311 complaint. That bathroom should be open unless there's a problem or a sign that doesn't work. There is 2 bathrooms, a male and a female, and then you got your bathroom inside where it's closed door. But she indicated that it was closed. She was very angry that whoever was behind the desk, I don't know who it was, treated her with not the right respect, and I told her that I would get back to you and let them know. That bathroom should be open. She went after school because she had to bring the kids, and they gave her a hard time. So I don't know, in regards to the bathroom, if there's a problem with the bathroom or not. If there is, should have put a sign on there. Or if there's a buzzer or officer has to open for her to use it and then come. Or maybe because there's homeless people in the front staying there, sitting there, because we know there are a couple of people that you do allow to stay there. So I can't answer that. But I want to make sure that that bathroom is being utilized by the people that really need it, and anyone that really needs it, and not closed off and not told, I haven't got the information, but as soon as I get it, I'll give it to you, the 311 complaint, because there was a 311 complaint in regards to her not being allowed to use the restroom.
I do read all the 311 complaints. I didn't see that one. That would not be a 311 complaint because that's more like a complaint against the police. That bathroom is in the front, so unless it was out of service, which I'm not aware of, or being cleaned or something, I don't know why she wasn't allowed to use it. But if you can contact us maybe, and then we can look into further,
All right.
something like that.
Yeah, we'll do just that.
Okay.
I have one question. This is going back to youth crime, the increase. I just wanted to know, based on the outreach you said that was conducted, have you been able to form any community partnerships with local organizations for youth crime prevention?
In regards to that, those individuals?
Generally
general? Okay.
speaking, yeah.
In regards to those individuals, because they don't live in the 83rd or go to school here, that was kind of quarterbacked by where they reside and the schools they go to. In general, the youth officers do try to provide a lot of outside police engagement. So non-NYPD agencies. So there's like sports. There's like a really, really cool one, which is not every kid plays sports. So it's more like music, podcast, audio, visual that we connected with. So we gave that to all the principals. I meet with the principals every Wednesday when I don't meet with you guys on Wednesdays. And they were kind of connecting the dots. We kind of tried to pull back from that because sometimes if we're involved, the kids aren't into it. So that's kind of what we do on our side. But if anyone has youth that needs something to do, we will find them someone, some agency, some group, something. There's a lot of them out there. So if you give, there's one actually right here. But yeah, so we try to be like a middleman, but we try not to be involved as much. 'Cause I feel like it's kind of a little bit of a turnoff sometimes as far as PD.
And Inspector, could it please be that maybe you can have some of these young officers come here and tell us their name, where they live, and why they became an officer real quick? Because sometimes we meet them and you see them outside, y'all don't say hi to them, or if you don't want them to say hi to them, you know, whether you like them or you don't like them, whatever it is, they're here to serve you. So hopefully you know who it is, and not waiting until some tragedy comes up for you know who the officer is. And look at them and say hi. Look, they're young, eager young rookies that are going to come to this community and serve us. So maybe real quick, your name, why you're a police officer, and where you reside. You can say, I'm from Best-Eye, I'm from East New York, I'm from whatever. Thank you. All from Brooklyn, Queens.
Hello, I am Police Officer Rojas Jimenez. I live in Red Hood. Hello, I am Police Officer Rojas Jimenez. I came from Red Hood. I became a police officer because I joined a program that is called Cadet Calls, and they introduced me to policing.
Thank you. Talk loud, like if you're chasing a perp. Yo, freeze, you know.
Hi, everyone. My name is P.O. Stukes. The reason why I'm here and I became a police officer is because of my dad. I'm following his footsteps. He was a sergeant. Thank you. He was a retired Marine, and then he's a retired sergeant. So I always had like a passion for this type of field. And before this, like, I traveled all across like Long Island, just like privately teaching people how to swim, all ages. So I'm like, you know, I'm there to help. So I hope I can be a help to your community.
Good afternoon, everybody. P.O. Payne. The reason I joined the job is previous family members have also worked at NYPD. My father retired now in 2013. A lot of family and friends is also on the job as well, so I'm following them. I got a lot of support and help for the job, so it just seemed right. I fit in well. I like the job, so I'm just here to help y'all. If anything, y'all see me on the street, y'all could talk to me. Your concerns is also important to me as well. I know I'm just low tier on the ranks right now, but I do hear y'all concerns, and I'm paying attention. So just anybody see me on the street, you can talk to me. Again, P.O. Payne. All right.
Hi everyone, I'm Soleni Monegro, and the reason why I became a police officer because I like to help people, and I feel like this is a way to give back to my community.
Any other questions for me?
No. No. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Introduction of elected officials and other representatives. Other representatives means business owners, city agencies, organizations. Folks can line up in the middle. Raise your hand on Zoom, please. Name and contact information only, as usual.
Good evening, everyone. Kim Vega from Councilmember Jennifer Gutierrez's office. Our phone number is 718-963-3141.
Hello, my name is Madeline Enlow. I'm from the Brooklyn Borough President's Office, Antonio Reynoso, and our number is 718-802-3700. My extension is 3834, and we are located at 209 Geralman Street. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. My name is Samantha Ortiz, and I am with Councilmember Nurse's office. You can reach our office at 718-642-8664, and we are located at 56 Pennsylvania. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Louisa Lebwell. I'm from the DeKalb Library at 790 Bushwick Ave. Our phone number is 718-455-3898.
Good evening, everyone. Maria Valdez from the Office of Senator Julia Salazar. We're located at 212 Evergreen Avenue. Phone number is 718-573-1726.
Right, going to Zoom. I see Debbie, then Jonathan Pomboza, followed by Jonathan Betancourt. Go ahead, Debbie.
Deborah Villanueva from Assemblywoman Maritza Davila's office, 673 Hart Street. Phone number 718-443-1205.
Good evening, everyone. Jonathan Pomboza from Brooklyn District Attorney Eric Gonzalez's office. We're located at 350 J Street, and our phone number is 718-250-2340. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Jonathan Betancourt here from the office of Congresswoman Nydia Velasquez. We're located at 266 Broadway, Suite 201 on the second floor, right above the Bank of America off the Marcy Avenue stop. And our phone number is 718-599-3658.
All right, I see no other hands on Zoom, no one else in person. We will move on now to the committee reports, starting with our civic public safety. I will let our chair say the rest of the committee name, so you don't have to hear it twice.
Good evening, Annette Spellin. I'm going to keep this kind of short. We met on Thursday, March 13th, and we met for a budget hearing. How's that now? Okay. We had a meeting in reference to the budget that was submitted, and we had several requests. And just to give you a combination of some, we had the Fire Department, we had the New York City Department of Health, we had the Statement of Community District Needs, we had the NYPD, we had the FDNY with EMS, which was very important to all of us because they were merging and they're requesting that they have additional hires. And for those of us who live here in Bushwick, we know that we have a good fire department response, we have a good police department response, but we are limited on our EMS because of short manpower. So we're pushing real hard for that one. We had the Mayor's Office of Management Budget and Parks and Recreation. We have requests from them. They've been allocated money to do certain things in our parks. And let's see, who else? Oh. And we had 4 fires in Bushwick since our last meeting. And this is very important to us because the bottom line is Bushwick burned many, many years ago. So we need you to pay attention to your surroundings, what's going on in your homes, what kind of vehicles you allow in your house, the type of batteries that are being charged in your home and in your neighbors' homes. Because we're starting to have fires all over again. Let's see. Are there any others that you'd like me to speak on?
No, I was just going to flag a couple of points from the meeting that I thought this was a really great conversation. I think I said in the meeting this is a great model for other folks in the committees who are going to be reviewing district needs. And just want to give an example of a few of the things that came out of the discussion. One of those, for instance, for Department of Homeless Services, this was about increased street outreach at key intersections. There was a request to ask the Independent Budget Office to present on street homeless outreach and ideally tailor that to CB4, and then also to invite DSS, Department of Homeless Services, to explain response protocols and district level data. And then the other thing I wanted to mention, the Borough President's Office may make an announcement later, but just the collaboration with Common Justice on Community-Led Safety Forum at Brooklyn Borough Hall on the 24th. So it was really, really informative, and I think just a great conversation. I really want to say I appreciate you, Ms. Spellin, and the rest of the committee members for being there.
We had a lot of different budgets to look at, and we had to make a lot of decisions on them, but thank you. Thank you to my committee for being there.
Thank you. All right, permits and licenses.
Hi, everybody. Happy spring. Permits and licenses met last week on March 10th. I'm just going to go through this in order. We didn't have quorum to start with, so we kind of went a little bit out of order, but I'm just going to follow the report here. So first, we touched on a mail item from the OCM, the Office of Cannabis Management, with their proximity correction legislation that was just signed by Governor Hochul. This was about the distance between cannabis establishments and schools. So now it's going to be measured property line to property line, not door to door, as was done previously. In addition to that, we had some old business. I think you'll remember a member of the community came before the full board to just announce that there was a public hearing for Avant Gardner, now to be known as Pacha. It's actually in CB1's district, but they invited us since it's sort of on the border with Flushing. So there's going to be a public hearing. I think the date is April 14th, if I'm not mistaken. And they invited us to attend because there's already been quite a lot of complaints, even from our district. I'm not sure how people became aware of it, but there's already quite a lot of complaints based on how the previous venue operated. So depending on how it's calculated, just to give you a sense, I think we asked when we attended the CB1 meeting, we asked that they also attend the CB4 meeting when the time is right. So they'll probably come here and make a presentation as well at full board. But the capacity is about, depending on who you ask, is about 8,000 to 10,000 people. So it's really, really large scale. It's somewhere in between the K Bridge, which is also open air, but in a much less populated area, and say Forest Hill Stadium, which is a little bit bigger, but enclosed and in a residential area. So, you know, it is open air, so people are concerned about that. And also, we know that they're planning to have shuttles of patrons that go from the venue. It's on Stewart Avenue, from the venue directly to Jefferson L Stop. So that's going to bring a lot more people into the neighborhood. So I think that is pretty much it about that. We'll learn more in the coming weeks about that one. Next up, I think we just had 2 new liquor license applications this past month. One was for Sura at 31 Wyckoff Avenue. This is in the saturated area at the Jefferson L Stop. It's a liquor, wine, beer, cider license, and this was previously a restaurant that didn't have a license, so this is a net new liquor license. It's going to be Korean-influenced cuisine. So there's that. The second new application was House of Nancy at 219 Central. So this is not a super saturated area. However, it is a very residential area, and there are a couple of schools located nearby. Early Learn and Head Start, so there was a little bit of a conversation about that because the hours are outside of the community board stipulations. And then finally, we had an alteration from Xanadu that was looking to get an alteration for a smoking construction outside of their venue. They did not attend the meeting, so we weren't able to ask a lot of questions, but we did have a lot of conversation around it. Then we had several no response and late applications. Forgive me, La Gualencena Dos on 251 Wyckoff Avenue did not submit required documents, did not appear. And Sajoma Restaurant at 941 Broadway. They were initially listed as a no response, but we ultimately said we would put this off till the next meeting and check to make sure that that was true. Really, this isn't loud enough? Jeez. I'm like yelling over here. Okay, and then last, and you always say that. You said to everyone. And then we had Patricia Nunez, which is going to present in April. And that is all for me. Any questions? Yes.
Courtney Henley, Community Board 4. Did the people get back to you with the proper list for of outreach for the community for the one dispensary from before?
I think that they did. We didn't have. It was actually a good thing because it allowed us to kind of clarify our signature process. So we're in the process of kind of clarifying the actual like physical document and what we're going to ask of people. So yes, they did give us a signature document, I think 25 or 30, if our memory serves. But, you know, a lot of the people are not in the neighborhood and, you know, that sort of thing. So moving forward, they did go and do some outreach, but moving forward, we're going to try to have some more robust rules around what we ask for, essentially. Anything else?
For information, I did go to CB1. I did let them know, no, it's not in our area, but it will affect us. Jefferson, Melrose train station, 7,830 people. 7,830 people. Plus 90 liquor licenses on Wyckoff. What you think's gonna happen when they close at 4? They go on this spot. One is 15 miles away, the other one is 13 miles away. It does affect us. There are people in the community testifying, say that the noise and the people and the urination and the loud noise that's coming from some of these establishments we have already here. Imagine 7,830 people coming across Flushing Avenue to Bushwick. 1, safety manpower. 2, how are they going to get those people out of that establishment when the party's over? 3, who's going to be responsible if something happens? Guess what they do? They'll go from one place. This door closed at 4. I'm going to the next spot. Everybody's laughing because they know what I'm talking about. So they're going to go party and party, and they wind up in your stoop asleep. Some of them wind up in the stoop maybe dead if they took something wrong. Just like happened to the last spot that was there, that 3 people were found dead underwater. So, if it doesn't affect you, guess what? It better start. Because when they start coming over here, I don't want to hear nobody saying, CB4, they're coming to the meeting. And they're going to do their presentation. They're going to say that they're going to do, this book looks nice, what they say. It really looks nice. So we really need to address this that's going to impact that area. So I hope that people from the mayor's office and elected officials know. Also, to Stanhope and Central, there is a Bushwick United Head Start, and in the corner is a daycare. I spoke to them. They said they wasn't aware. They saw the sign on it, and I had spoken to their lawyer, and the lawyer says that that's not a school. Anyone with DOE and getting funding through DOE, it's a school. It's a school. And the attorney is using what he wants for himself, because it says here 200-foot rule prohibit license from being issued to any retail establishment where liquor will be sold on the premises or consumed, or any retail establishment where liquor, wine will be sold for consumption off premises if the local establishment is the same street within 200 feet of a building. Use excluding as a school or a place of worship. So they're using this as it's not a school because it's under DOE, but it is a school because it's an early learn and they're getting funding through DOE. So we're only an advisory. We're advising them that there is a school, the SLA, and be mindful that that's a residential block, and I have a video of how quiet it is. I did it all week, how that block, because I live on the block. Real quiet, 8, 9, I even did it at 1 in the morning when I came out of a meeting. Real quiet. So when they be there at 4, 3 in the morning and show you a video, I'm going to show you before and after. So that's what we have to do. Because people say, oh, they were there before, those people were there, but yeah, they also had 311 complaints. And the police department had complained with them. It may be unfounded, because the cops didn't come when they were supposed to, because they had other jobs, but yes, they were called. So I'm letting you guys know that we're doing our job and making sure that we represent the community. We don't mind people making money, but sometimes what happens to the quality of life in our community when our kids got to go to school the next day. So remember, Sunday is Monday. So if it's 4 in the morning, it's Monday. So 8 o'clock, kids are going to school. People can't find parking. Everybody's still partying. And then they get on the train and they go where they live and they leave the garbage in our hood. So I'm being realistic. So I just wanted to share that, Madam Chair. And I know that some of the board members, they go to that place. Thank you.
All right. Seeing no other raised hands and no one on Zoom, I will just say that we are scheduled to invite, the invitation has not been sent yet, but we are scheduled to invite the applicant to present as a courtesy to CB4. They do not have to, they're not required to, but they have reached out to the board's office, so we're in the process of coordinating that, so they may be on the April public hearing agenda for folks to provide testimony after a brief presentation. We will move on now to the chairperson's report. Mr. Camacho.
Yes, February, Thursday 19th from 12 to 1. I went to Wyckoff Heights. I know our chair went to the Patient and Family Advisory Board, a meeting. That was February between 12 and 1. Also, that same day, there was a meeting from, there was a Zoom meeting from 6:30 to 7:30, a workshop at the Borough Hall in regards to the comprehension plan, the beautiful booklet that Celeste had, but I had to go to a Zoom meeting, for an hour and a half. But Celeste got a new beautiful book, that's why she's laughing. So I had to go to a Zoom meeting for an hour and a half in my home, and Celeste got a beautiful book and didn't do nothing. So y'all guys, you know what I'm talking about. I also, the Brooklyn North, I also went to the Brooklyn North Black History Month at IS 250. Fergie Jones was honored, one of our board members. Fergie, I know I saw you, Fergie. What's your? Oh, I know, and you took off like a bandit. You had a bad leg. I don't know what it was that you had. I wanted to see you. I was in the back, but you took off. But they told me you say hi anyway. And also, Miss Anita Haynes also had an award. I also went to the CB1 on the 25th, which is PACHA, the Public Safety Committee for CB1. On Friday the 27th, CB4 on a phone call with both elected officials for 1420 with Dr. Igwe. He made a presentation in regards of, I guess, our chair from Housing Landing will speak on that. I don't want to get both our elected officials and the chief of staff was there. On Monday, March 2nd from 11, CB4 meeting with Wyckoff High staff. Celeste will speak on the staff that came to the office and wanted to collaborate with some of the programs that are happening in Wyckoff, and I'm so happy that Wyckoff is moving in the right direction and supporting the community and creating an advisory board and helping us and doing programming and things. I know they're working also with Health and Hospital in regards to people that are overdosing. There are programs that they're having and bringing buses out. So if people do have people that need services, there are services now in Wyckoff. They're working with her. So it's a city and a public entity working together to serve our people, because, any one of us can, have substance abuse problems and may need help. So at least we know that people from within that community, we can link them on and get them help. And that's what we're all about. So I went to some of their stuff, both on March 2nd, Monday, between 12 and 1. I was in an interview with the first person that we're doing assistant manager, but no show, never came. Celeste called, we sent emails, no show. On the 3rd, we had a meeting on Tuesday, March 3rd, C4 on Zoom, 1 p.m. with the Better Public Meeting. Celeste will fill us in on that. It was also from 3:30 to 4. There was another interview. Everybody know Luis from Apuente. He was interviewed for that position, but we're putting him on hold because I know we're going to go through a list again to make sure that we cross our T's and dot our I's, because we don't want the borough president or legal to say that there were 10 people. Out of the 10 people, yes, we choose 5. We broke it down to 2, but 1 had no show. So maybe we'll give someone else another shot to have an open dialogue and see what they're about. Celeste is going to do this as soon as possible. Hopefully, we can determine at 6 o'clock. I also went to Borough Hall. Israel, thank you for Borough Hall with some of the, let me just get some of the things that Borough Hall had on display off the top of my head. I know there were several things going on there in Borough Hall. They said that people were giving concern about term limits for board members. A lot of people that became chairs, new chairs. I will be writing a letter. I'm working with Celeste in regards to myself in 2027 to this full board and address my issues and my concern in regards to my personal being in how I feel and what's going on. And some of the community boards chair 18 in regards to their feeling and their concern in regards to volunteer work with term limit. It's funny, but not allocating and letting our elected officials do their job in regards to appointing and not appointing, and the borough president having his point of view at the end. I think a lot of things needs to be changed. This is my opinion. I know I spoke with Celeste, and I know things are going to change, and we welcome change. But I think that just because you hit a certain age, you no longer, I feel no longer any good. And I think we're going the wrong way with that. Our seniors are wonderful. They started. They taught me. They brought me up. And they knew that I was from this community and wanted. And that's what we should be doing, echoing our youth and bringing them in here and telling them how things are getting done and not following the status quo, that are not doing their due diligence. This is where everything gets done. And this is what I was taught when I was 22 years old, 23 years old. And I was still getting into trouble. So people, when they get old, they're not, your mindset is one until you come and you make a difference to people that, like that young lady that spoke here, that been here in this community and not being heard. So term limits are coming. Different people are going to be in this table. So you want to see different things out there that represents you too, not only one. So those were my concern. And a lot of people brought in a lot of things. I know the borough president is having something going on, so hopefully we can work with him to try to fix something that really needs to be fixed. I'm not going easy. I'm really not. I'm telling you, I'm not going easy. I'm not. I'm really not. And I think that a lot of people that are, some people are tired from working so hard. Our seniors and our people that have been here a long time, and they feel that they haven't been heard. I hear you. Some of the board members that are gone, that are leaving, I know they're going on to better things, but we're always here. We're always here. Ms. Stephanie Anderson, because I know you're no longer. You're going to be missed. Your intelligence, and I want to hear you singing, because I haven't heard you singing. I know you can sing, but we know, and I hope you come back and join us and continue to fight for our people, as always. March 4th at 12:30, at CB4 office, we had a meeting with the Department of Community Safety. At 6 o'clock, we had an executive board meeting. On the 5th, at Thursday, 1 p.m., event, a procedure, virtual workshop, SAPO, because now they're giving these permits out for venues that are doing street closures and everything. They were showing how to apply for them, what they need, the insurance they need. It's not for selling, and if it is, they have to pay money. It ain't free. So you have to make sure, so they were teaching people that are doing events in blocks. Now the summertimes are coming. Some of the blocks, they might get permits, how they have to get a permit, or they got to go through the process. So I took a learning course in Sapo. It was a good learning course, but you know, I think that the city should be doing more than just getting money. You know, it should be in regards to CBOs that may need, because I know a CBO here that is doing great things, and everything that she gets for the kids is free. I went to Wyckoff. If you go to the third floor, she got pictures of kids drawing in that hallway for the kids thing, and they don't pay nothing and it's free. So sometimes we shouldn't be charging people that are making and doing an event, and it's a fundraiser for their staff and for the kids. Sapo shouldn't be charging. So if there's a show and they want people to come out and they want to do a fundraiser, I don't think that. So those are my ups and downs with people that could afford, like those big venues where you get Biggie or those people that want to use the block to do their videos. We don't mind them charging them because it's taken away. But if it's someone that a non-for-profit that's giving back to the community and giving to our kids and showing their pictures and buying, I think that's, you know, that's something that we should be fighting for at March 9th on Monday, CB4 Palmetto. We met. I know our Celeste will speak in regards to the place to enter government. We had DOT, MTA, and NYPD in regards to what's going on Palmetto by the bus stop in Myrtle. With the taxis not there, and with the taxis they took away, that they're in Ridgewood, they want to come back over here because, so it's a lot of, on Tuesday, March 10th at 2 p.m., we was at the Murder and Wyckoff Task Force on Zoom. That same day, CB4 Public Safety Committee. Wednesday at 10:30, District Service Cabinet Committee. That Wednesday from 3 to 4, I was at the Bushel Coalition appointed. And then again at 4:15, I was at Wyckoff Height Good Collective. They had a thing with the kids over there. As on that Thursday, the 12th, CBOR Civil, Public Safety, Religions, Health. That thing is so crazy. On Monday the 16th at 3:30, 480 Knickerbocker, I met the rookies. Like I told y'all, those rookies came here. I told them they need to come here so y'all can say hi to them when they're out there. They're going to be on Wyckoff. They're going to do 40 hours, different tours. They're going to split the tours in different tours, and it's 2 sections. Some will be on day for a while, then the day will go to the night, and then they switch over for 90 days, and then they get a post. So that's what I was told. And then also today, yesterday, Tuesday the 17th at 4 p.m. on 895 Broadway, I called the precinct and wanted to speak to them because they got hit with tickets. They had a venue that only hold 45. They had 200 and some people there. So they wanted to sit down. They wanted to get a community. Now they want to work. They want to make sure that they're in compliance. They want to work with the community board and make sure if there are things that people need. I said that they can work with. I said, but we don't work at 5 in the morning, and you're not in compliance with your certificate of occupancy when it says 45, and you got 200 people. So we will have to talk to the czar. I know we have a czar, a nightlight czar, or whatever you call them now. I don't know what they are now. Jeff Garcia, Director, Office of Nightlight. I don't know if he's still there, if he is. So he is. So he's still kept there. And today, for CB4, and me and Celeste also went 250 Broadway. First, we went to council. It was freezing that day. They didn't let me in because I wanted to testify in regards to the community boards, term limits, and a couple of things. Budget. We haven't had a budget in years. We're the only city agency that do all the work and don't get no money. When an old lady falls down the street and want to know who they can sue, they call us. If something happens, they call us. But yet, Celeste is the only one picking up the phone We don't have no one else. We have Adelina works part-time, and she works from Monday to Thursday, and on Friday, Celeste is on the phone all day. So we really need our budget to reflect the work that we do. It ain't that we want it. There's no way. We have to have volunteers to get on the Zoom. We have to do things. I go out in the field. If there's a problem, they send a video. I'll go to the field. I go to these meetings. I'll ask Celeste to pick up the phone. I don't get paid. I think I work. If I see the hours that way, I think the city will be broke. So it's a time check. They told me it's a time check. And that is it. Any questions? Any concern? Any issues? Thank God, Jesus. Thank you.
All right. I don't see anyone in person with hands raised. I don't see anyone on Zoom. Thank you, Mr. Camacho. Move right along, and I will keep my report brief. So good evening, everyone. Happy Women's History Month and belated St. Patrick's Day and all the other things that are happening in March that I didn't have a time to write down earlier. The District Office Committee, as Mr. Camacho mentioned, I'm just going to give a little bit of statistics. We received 6 applications directly and 15 through the NYC Jobs application portal for the Assistant District Manager position, although several applications were duplicated as candidates submitted both ways. I also just want to point out, let me see if I can navigate my own notes here. So it's important, Mr. Camacho mentioned this, and I'm saying this with term limits in mind, it's important to have representation, right? When folks come to this board and they don't feel represented, that is something that they're saying to this board, that is something that they're saying to the council members and to the borough president's office. We know that change is already here, and we want to make sure that everyone, right, feels included, and it's not just one voice or one opinion or a majority opinion of folks who can be here. And so I just want to say thank you to the people that show up, that attend the meetings. I want to say thank you to people that speak up. I also just want to say something that I've been mentioning recently. It is great to be overwhelmed and joyful. I can say that. Like, I'm overwhelmed, but I'm also joyful doing this work, and I thank you. It shouldn't be a privilege for me to say that I come to a job where I'm treated with respect and professionalism, but the more that I hear from folks, it is a privilege, and people tell me that is a privilege. And I thank you all for your partnership and collaboration in that. I do not take that for granted. We would not be able to do this kind of work without it. And I'd also like to shout out everyone who reads the reports and tells me, thank you. Also for the folks who take the time to say, hey, I attend the meetings. I noticed that the video's not on YouTube. I thank you for that too, because it shows us that not only people are here, but they are using the YouTube channel. And I promise you it will be updated very soon as we get someone else in our office. And then let's see, we will be interviewing additional candidates. I went through the list today. I'll be speaking with Mr. Camacho, and I hope to have this process wrapped up, if not by the end of this week, by early next week, and we'll follow up with the borough president's office. And then for the meetings within the past month, I've summarized, there was a conversation with Julian Gant from the CUNY Graduate Center. So for a long time, I was tossing seeds into the wind, talking about a citywide community board forum. What does that even mean? Well, the CUNY Grad Center was like, hey, we want to help with training for incoming community board members. We read the Future of Community Boards report, and when we had a conversation, I put that out there that maybe having a forum citywide in the fall might be a great way to not only address the fact that the applications will open, right, citywide for board membership, but it'll also be, right, the last fall prior to 2027 when term limits take effect. They are now committed, based on a few emails we've exchanged, to hosting a forum. And so it looks like this will move forward with a small steering committee of folks, both board members, district managers, and others who are interested. I received some correspondence from the first district manager for Community Board 4. Some of you may remember John Derziewski, who's currently a board member in Queens. He also highlighted that there's an anniversary coming up. I forget which anniversary it is, but I know it's a significant one. It might be 40 years. It's since 77. Am I doing that math right? 50? Is it 50 years? So, but the boards will be 40 years old in 2027, because it's 1977 that the board's 50. So it's our 50-year anniversary coming up. That's a pretty big deal, especially with term limits, 50 years of community boards. So hopefully we'll have some recognition for that, not just from the community boards, but citywide. And I'll take that as an opportunity to segue into a conversation that I had very briefly. This was not planned. Some of you may remember the mayor had a community affairs unit. That no longer exists. It is now called the Office of Mass Engagement. It was unclear what that means, and so a lot of folks were concerned. I think they're still figuring everything out as they staff up. However, I heard from a variety of folks that they didn't seem to be getting the same response that they've previously have gotten from the mayor's office. I spoke to Mr. Camacho about it. I had previously been connected to the current commissioner, Tasha Van Auken, and I just gave her a heads up that, hey, listen, folks are concerned. They were able to coordinate. That was on February 23rd. They put together a meeting for district managers on March 11th. And so on, let's see, 227, I think Ann may speak to this later, but I'll just mention that we had a follow-up discussion with Councilmember Nurse and Family Services Network about 1420 Bushwick Avenue. Folks may recall or remember from previous meetings that we've talked about what the future of that site will be. For those that don't know, that's where our office is housed, and it has additional services provided by Family Services Network and other organizations. We were talking about the future of that site and opportunities for affordable housing. We look forward to sharing more as it becomes available. And on March 2nd, Mr. Camacho mentioned the meeting with Wyckoff Heights Medical Center. They have a new staff member that's in charge of helping to develop a community network of partners, Elisa Viesta. She was joined by her colleague, and we had a really productive conversation about ways to collaborate. They are looking for a mural to be put on, I believe, the side of their pediatric center. And we received an email shortly after that, was able to make those connections. Hopefully they'll be able to have a conversation about it. In addition to everything else, they will most likely be coming to the board to present in May. It is currently being coordinated, and more information on that soon. Nick Valos and Ben Solitaire from the Civic Engagement Commission. This was about better public meetings. There was supposed to be a QR code this evening. However, I did not receive finalized language for the questionnaire that folks will be asked to fill out. So hopefully by next month, we'll have a one page that we'll put on the tables. Folks can scan the QR code, and you'll be providing feedback on your experience at the community board's meeting. It's a part of a larger pilot project to improve meetings, public meetings in particular, and they'll consolidate that information from the scorecard and share that with CB4 once this project is concluded. And we thank the Civic Engagement Commission for opening up this opportunity for the board. I also spoke to Ewan French from Environmental Justice New York City. He reached out, attends the board meetings, is a Bushwick resident, and wanted to make sure that we were aware of tools, mapping tools in particular for environmental justice, and also extended an invitation to an upcoming open data session with Beta NYC that's coming up. So I look forward to participating. And I mentioned a little bit about this earlier. Kira Shepard and team from Common Justice came by. There's a lot of discussion, I think, that's not necessarily happening at CB4, but in general about alternatives to policing. This is a town hall specifically on community-led safety. I encourage anyone that's interested, March 24th, hopefully there'll be an announcement with additional information later, but that will be at Brooklyn Borough Hall. And the same day, I was able to speak with the Manhattan Borough President's Office through a colleague. They are also looking at ways to plan for term limits, and we shared just general information about some of those conversations that we've had with other district managers at CB4, and just want to give a shout out to my colleague and to the other BP's offices. They don't have to do that. They don't have to include folks from Brooklyn, but they do, and I think that that says a lot about their character. So just want to say I appreciate it. We had a site visit, Palmetto and Ridgewood Place. Folks may know that's very close to Food Bazaar, Myrtle Wyckoff. There's only been one, I think, specific action that's been taken, which DEP was notified about a manhole that needs to be fixed. They're looking to see if they can put a traffic signal at Ridgewood and Palmetto if it warrants citing. And then for the taxi stand, there is no formal taxi stand, so the committee will be discussing what folks may like to see there. And this is open to anyone in the community. If folks in that area would like to contribute, they are more than welcome. We invited some residents, both board members and folks that live on Ridgewood Place and on Palmetto, to participate. We look forward to continuing the conversation. I already mentioned the meeting with the Office of Mass Engagement. It was an interesting meeting. I think that they are figuring things out, and I think it'll get better with time. I will leave that there. Ask me for additional information after the meeting if you'd like. And then I want to give a shout out to Councilmember Gutierrez's team, Kim and folks, for March 13th. We met with the Civic Engagement Commission, and also shout out to Permits and Licenses for coming up with this, concept. A lot of questions being asked about how do we do this work, right? And we wouldn't get to this point if people did not care about how to do the work. So we're hopefully going to inform a training for all community board members citywide with different models for how boards review permits and licenses applications. And so that's currently being developed. So thank you, Christine. Thank you, Councilmember Gutierrez's office. And next, that Friday, Mr. Camacho said we were running around everywhere. The Fund for the City of New York invited me to speak to about, I want to say 20 of their community planning fellows and just ask questions about my experience at the community board. It was a great, conversation, a lot of excellent questions. They knew I had only 30 minutes because I was scheduled to testify at City Council. Some of the questions actually helped me prepare to provide that testimony, and I definitely told them that. I want to credit the Fund for the City of New York for keeping folks connected and making sure that their fellows are prepared to make that transition from their work, in the program into city agencies. And with the testimony that we provided, that hearing started at 12:30. We got there at 4:30. And so I just want to say, after a long day, and one thing that I will note, it's been mentioned before, but community boards are not put on the agenda as city agencies. We have to wait until public. So at 4:30 was when the public was finally allowed to speak. Mr. Camacho and I were there, along with a couple of other representatives from community boards. And we were allowed our time, and we spoke to the budget challenges, and I mentioned that a modest increase, right, just to allow a board to be fully staffed, you can make an argument that it would save the city funds because you wouldn't have a lot of the inconsistencies in outreach, in communication, and you would make sure that the boards are resourced to do what the city charter requires in addition to everything else that's changed over the last, 5 to 10 years. And the last thing that I will say is in reference to Monday the 16th, the Friends of Green Central Knoll. If you did not know, there's a Friends of group. They reached out. Mr. Camacho and I, we were later joined by Ben, the Parks Committee Chair, spoke with them. They wanted more information on how, right, they can make a proposal for a dog run that will have community support. They do not want the dog run, based on that conversation, to be in the sports field. They want to look at alternative locations. And so that is a conversation that is just starting. Based on previous committee discussions, we've also spoken with the council member's office about having a type of community forum. I heard from both the council staff and the council member. They have elevated this for parks. They want to make sure there is something to talk about before we have a community conversation. And that concludes my report. Thank you, everyone.
And in regards to Palmetto, I know that there was a sign on gate that said no right turns into Ridgewood Place. Someone went up there in the ladder and took it out. While we were standing there, cars were going that way and the cars were coming the other way. So, that's what happens when you don't put a stop sign or you don't put a light, like I said before. Because if you got the right of way going down a gate and Ridgewood Place has a stop sign, it's a congestion because they got the right of way. The people can't turn. They have to wait until the light changes on the other side of Myrtle in order to move forward, so they're there a long time. So someone actually went on the ladder and took out the no turn sign. Because DOT said we put one up there. I said, who took it down? They don't know who took it down. Somebody took it down. So maybe the same person that got a ticket for not turning came back with a ladder, put it up there and took it out. Because that's what they normally do when they can't get it their way. So that's why we want to make sure that they either put a sign or put the curb, a stop sign, a two-way stop sign, or put the curb or put a light. I don't know what it is that they want to do, but I know the committee is going to work on what is it that they need.
Mr. Camacho. All right, recommendations. Oh, permits and licenses.
Hello again, everybody. Okay, let me go through the recommendations. We only had a few. So the first one was for, is this loud enough, Courtney? The first one was for Sura at 31 Wyckoff Avenue. This is the new liquor license that's going to be part of a Korean restaurant. They were slightly outside of our stipulated hours. They agreed to meet our stipulated hours, so we ultimately voted in favor of their, to support their liquor license. The next one was House of Nancy at 219 Central. They were not at all interested in our hours. And as I mentioned earlier, there was some concern about the Early Learn and the Head Start programs being nearby. They even, I think they were trying to, they were saying that they wanted to have like 4 a.m. even on a Sunday night, which has like never been the case for Bushwick. in any case, we ultimately voted not in favor because they weren't really interested in discussing. Next up was Xanadu for the smoking area alteration. The applicant was not present, which normally would have been sufficient for us to vote not in favor. However, there were 6 members of the community that showed up to complain, so we heard them out. And there were just a lot of complaints about noise, about cars honking, about sanitation issues, this sort of thing. So we heard them out, and ultimately, and I think even one of the people said the structure is already in place and operating very late hours. So ultimately, we voted not in favor of to support this alteration. Next up was La Gualancena Dos, which did not appear either, and no response, no appearance, voted not in favor. The next one was Sajhoma Restaurant Corporation, which we agreed we would give them we would check our records to see if they had in fact submitted all the required materials and give them another chance to appear the following month. And I think that is it.
Thank you. And I'll just add for context, so I double checked, they did submit, but they did not follow the instructions in the business notice. So due to the amount of emails that we received, we asked for them to put both PLC and the address of the business, so that way we can look up and track. They did not, they just responded to the email. And so that's part of the reason why it was missed. I'll make sure to emphasize that to applicants next time.
Got it.
And then we'll let them know, it was just a administrative error for next time.
Yeah, there's a lot of paperwork with these licenses, so we're trying to figure out ways to streamline the process for folks, because it's hard for them to. Yeah,
they should be coming next month.
One other thing I just wanted to add is that I am trying to do some research on the applicants ahead of time and project the location and the 311 complaints to date and that sort of thing about the business alongside the application, which definitely helps give a lot of context as to, when you have an application that doesn't have a lot of complaints, of course, that feels very different than one that has, lots of historical complaints. So just wanted to mention that as well. And that is all.
All right. Is there a motion? If folks want a motion. Oh. Okay. Gio for a blanket vote. Second by who? Felix Ceballos. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? I don't hear anyone on Zoom. I don't see any hands. This is just for the blanket. All right. So motion carries. And is there a recommendation? All right, Anne made the motion to accept the committee's recommendations. Stephanie Anderson seconds. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, seeing none in person. Oh, who? Raul Rubio abstains. Anyone else? All right, seeing no one else in person. I don't see any hands. Nothing on Zoom. All right, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, old business. Going once, going twice.
Hi, this is Old Business, Ann Guiney, Economic Development, Housing and Land Use Committee Chairperson. Next Thursday, March 26th, anybody who has ever wondered how affordable housing gets built, finances, who pays for it, what are the sources, this is your moment to shine. It's going to be a workshop that we set up at the committee because we said we always ask developers, do better, do better, do better. We want more affordability. We want better numbers. We want lower AMIs. And they say, oh, we can't, because affordable housing finance, it's like a crazy complicated jigsaw puzzle. This will be like your workshop. You don't have to know much going in. It's designed for people who are really interested in it but don't know that much. And it's a 2-hour workshop around the corner next Thursday. Please come. Everyone from any committee, members of the public. We want a good crowd, 25. We're paying out of our very small budget for this. I think it's really educational. The goal of this is to give us the tools to analyze the projects that come in front of us and to advocate for better projects. But we realize if we don't know how this works, how can we ask well-informed questions that really get to the heart of what is going on in these projects? Please come. It'll be fun.
Now we'll move on to new business.
Hi there, Annette Spellin. I just want to bring to your attention that Camacho and I went to the Wyckoff Patient and Family Advisory Council meeting, and they asked us to put out the flyers for their quit smoking program. So I put some of the flyers over here. The other thing is I met with the Parks Department in reference to the children's playground in Irving Square Park. It was a very good meeting, but the most important part about the meeting was that we had 3 experts. We had 3 children who came and who spoke on behalf of Irving Square Park and let Parks Department know exactly what they wanted and what colors they wanted. I was so proud of them.
We'll move on now to announcements. Minute and a half. Please come up to the middle and raise hands on Zoom.
Hi everyone, Kim Vega from Councilmember Gutierrez's office. We just have a few announcements. Participatory budget voting season is coming up April 11th from April till April 19th. We're looking for volunteers for our PB sites and just anyone that wants to help us get the most votes again. I left some flyers on the table over there, and then we are also hiring for a constituent advocate. If anyone's interested or knows anyone that might be interested, the application and the process is all on Instagram, or you can just come to me. And then we're also doing mobile office hours at the Quechua Baptist Church on 1809 Cornelia Street in Ridgewood. It's going to be on March 31st on Tuesday, and Community Resist will be joining us. So I think it's a good opportunity if anyone needs to talk to a housing attorney. And that's it. I'll be here if anyone needs anything.
Hi, everybody. Varun Kataria from Xanadu, your friendly neighborhood roller rink. I just wanted to... I wanted to let everybody know a roller rink is a community center, and so we want to open our doors to any community initiatives. We have a thing coming up on June 19th, Cops and Kids. Juneteenth. And we want to invite, if people have ideas for how we can be of service to the community, please do approach us. You can write me. My email is VARUN, that's my first name, Varun, at Xanadu, XANADU.NYC. We'd also like to invite you to come check it out. If you've never been, please email me. I'd love to invite you as a guest. Tonight we have community night. It'll be going on till midnight, so if you want to try your skate on after the community board meeting, you guys are all welcome to come.
Hello, y'all can hear me? Awesome. My name is Cade Terada. I'm a community organizer with Common Justice. It's been shouted out a few times. We do have a town hall happening next Tuesday. The Every Road to Healing Town Hall. It's going to be next Tuesday, 6 p.m., Brooklyn Borough Hall. I have a large stack of flyers with me. We are encouraging folks to RSVP. I will be here for the duration of the meeting. Please reach out to me if you have issues with the QR code. I can also RSVP you myself. And this is a part of like a larger conversation on community-led safety in the borough. Afterwards, after this town hall, we will be going more locally within communities such as CB4, Bushwick, and hosting listening sessions with folks. Thank you.
Hello again, I'm Louisa from the DeKalb Library, Brooklyn Public Library. We're at DeKalb and Bushwick Ave. We have a lot going on, so I'll try to be quick. Tomorrow, funded by Senator Salazar's office and the community board, I believe, we have a tax help clinic at 5 p.m. Funded by participatory budgeting. There's an OSHA class, free, of course, for ages 18 to 24, starting in April. It's going to be bilingual, and if they pass the OSHA certification, they get $300. And there's a kickoff for that, as well as like a culinary class at El Puente on Friday at 4 if you know any young people who would be interested. So those are both participatory budgeting initiatives. If you have teens in your life, we have our teen takeover next Wednesday. So the library is closed, but it's open just to teens. We have food and activities. This one is art themed. We have free financial counseling every Thursday. As of this week, you can borrow board games at the library. So we have over 1,000 board games that you can borrow with your library card. We are opening our garden again for the season the first week of April. So we're going to have events for all ages that first week of April. And then you can use our garden again for the season now that it will hopefully be warm out again. We have our zine collection. Greenpoint stole it, but we took it back. And so you can come visit zines. If you don't know what they are, you can come check them out. We're one of only 2 libraries in Brooklyn with zines, which are homemade magazines. And last but not least, we are having a good old-fashioned book club on April 7th. If you want to read a book and talk about it with your neighbors, we're really excited to be bringing that back. So feel free to ask me about any of those things. Thank you.
Hello again, everyone. My name is Madeline Enlow, and I work for the Office of the Brooklyn Borough President, Antonio Reynoso. And so the Brooklyn Borough President, Reynoso, is deeply alarmed by the new work requirements for SNAP that came into effect this month. While our office cannot provide direct case-to-case support on these cases, our Constituent Affairs team can provide you with more information on the various resources that are available for you. A full summary of these changes is also available on the Brooklyn Borough President's website. We also have flyers on the table over there about this, and the number of our Constituent Services Office. So there is going to be free tax prep from February 2nd to April 8th. Eligible New Yorkers can access free tax filing services provided by IRS certified volunteers at Brooklyn Borough Hall. Appointments are available Mondays and Wednesdays between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. There's also flyers on the table about this. No walk-ins will be accepted. This year, for 2026 ULURP public hearings, they will be hosted every second Wednesday of the month. There is also a flyer for the complete list of 2026 dates. And members of the public may participate in person at Borough Hall or online via WebEx. All right, thank you, everyone. Hi, my name is Brizo Torres, founder of the Good Good Collective. I would like for everyone to be a part of making history, not only here in Bushwick, but in New York City. We are 1 in 3 Latinx-centered educational spaces that operate full-time for kids and teens keeping culture alive. Now, in comparison, we need to take a page out of our resilient Black community who prioritize arts institutions and keeping education, music, theater, dance accessible for our kids and teens. So we ask that you support our nonprofit. Now we're just getting started. We don't want to be reliant on government funding or private funding. We want to thrive on our own, but that means bringing the community with us. So we have launched amazing classes. Our organization is artist-led. I'm an active musician and actor. Aliza is a phenomenal dance teaching artist as well as dance teacher. And we would love for y'all to pull up to any of our classes. We have a Bonito Bowl dance class, which goes through the choreo of the halftime show, as well as Huepa Cumbia, Salsa. Our spaces are solely kids first. We prioritize our kiddos. We keep culture alive for Latina, Black, and Indigenous spaces, and we ask that you join us. Quick shout out to Sprout Society, who has held us down in 26 Scott Ave. So if you are around or in the neighborhood, please come visit us. They do amazing work. They're a nonprofit, and we're in that space Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And also shout out to Xanadu, who has had our back since the beginning, actually since they were even fully built. They were already coming up to us like, how can we support the kiddos? And so that has been really phenomenal to bring them experiences that otherwise they couldn't afford. So thank you. Please reach out to us. Yes. I would like to actually, my goal is to know everybody on a first name basis because I see a lot of familiar faces. So please come to me. Let me get your email, your phone number. But if you want to hit me up, 347-294-5444. 5466. But yes, I would love for we will definitely reach out to you. We're a small team of 3, but we got this. All right, go Bushwick.
Good evening, everyone. Maria Valdez from the Office of Senator Julia Salazar. As Luis mentioned, we will have free tax clinic tomorrow at the Gulf Library at 5 p.m. Everyone is welcome. Also, as Celeste mentioned, there's going to be a community town hall at Brooklyn Borough Hall with Every Road to Healing. Join us for a conversation about community-led solutions to safety and advancing. It will be next week, March 24th, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Brooklyn Borough Hall, first floor. Also, Hope and Healing Family Center, save the date. I have the flyers back there. They're going to have an event April 13th, 15th, 16th at Hope Gardens Community Center from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We will be tabling there. So please see the flyers in the back for more information. We continue to have tenant support unit services the first Tuesday of every month from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at our office. We also have CUF every Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Everyone that needs support on creating an account with Housing Connect, they're welcome to come in. No appointments necessary. I also left the flyer back there. If you need to file your taxes for free, there's more information in the back. Thank you.
Good evening, family. My name is Danny. I'm the pastor of Swerve Church located at 407 Wilson Avenue. Just wanted to share about our upcoming Bushwick Easter egg hunt, our yearly kind of festival that we do every year. There won't be any eggs or hunting, but there'll be lots of candy. That's going to happen there. And food, music, games, all that stuff. Saturday, March 28 at 12 p.m. And it'll be at the schoolyard of PS 299 at 88 Woodbine Street. We'll be in the schoolyard there. And so please help us spread the word. Invite families in the neighborhood to come out. It's going to be a great time. And then one of our community partners is PS 376, located at 194 Harmon Street. There's a bunch of excited second graders that want to share with you all about urban garden, about their urban garden and about the importance of gardening with their community. So they're hosting a special get-together April 14 at 8:30 a.m. at the school at PS 376. And they would be excited to welcome a bunch of the community members to come and talk a little bit about the importance of gardening. Thank you.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Raul Rubio with the Department of Health, also a member of the Community Board. Don't know if anybody out there are licensed social workers or LSWs, LMSWs, but we're doing some trainings through the Department of Health. We have workshops that are happening next week on Thursday and Friday. One's a virtual training that's happening obviously online, and the other one is going to be happening at our borough office on 485 Throop. The significance of the social work thing is because both of these courses will be giving away CEU credits. So those are the credits the social workers need to be able to continue their licensing. We're going to be giving away a total of 7 credits with those 2 trainings. The one on the Thursday, the virtual one, is going to be giving 4 credits, and the one on Friday is going to be giving 3. The community mental wellness and resiliency training is a general training about understanding mental health. That's the 3-hour one that we're going to be doing, and then the next one is a 5-hour training, which has a lunch break. That's our guide training. That's the one that circles around our youth mental health initiatives and part of the Partnership for Early Diversion of Youth. We have a youth diversion program that's going on that includes Bushwick, Brownsville, Bed-Stuy, East New York, and East Flatbush. So if anybody's interested, I have a QR code so you guys can register. Please, I would like to know if anybody would like to share the code. We're trying to get as many people to these classes as possible. There's still room. And again, they're absolutely free. So anybody who needs credit usually has to pay for those courses, or they only give you like 1.5 at a time. So this is an easy way to get 7 of the credits. I think you need 60 for the entire year. That's it. Okay. Have a good evening.
Hi again, everybody. My name is Samantha Ortiz, and I am with Council Member Sandy Nurse's office. We have two upcoming events. We have a themed town hall on Tuesday, March 31st from 6 to 7:30 at the Riseboro Youth Center on Gates. It will be dedicated to all things sanitation and all things transportation. So any things that you would like to flag to those departments, there will be representatives there to hear you out. Our office, of course, will be hosting. Next Thursday, March 26th, from you can't hear me. Okay, I'll try to project. Next Thursday from March 26th from 3 to 5 o'clock at our district office at 56 Pennsylvania, we will be handing out some compost containers, the little gallon-sized ones. So if you don't have one, if you want to get one for a friend, please feel free to stop by. We're doing that with Big Reuse. And next Thursday, March 26th. And if you haven't done your taxes yet, we are doing taxes at our district office every Friday until April 10th. From 10 a.m. to 4 o'clock, and I will also be leaving some flyers up front or behind me for clinics that we do year-round. That includes legal services for immigration and housing-related topics. That's all. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ewan French. I yesterday spent a few hours with some people who live in the neighborhood, and we were really trying to think of ways that we could help people out in the neighborhood. We are all different ages, all different backgrounds. I tried to convince a lot of them to come here today, only managed a couple. But we're a range of experiences, from everything from tech to social work to architecture to all different groups. We're a group called the Meta Crisis Salon. And basically acknowledging that there's so many things that feel very overwhelming right now. And we're trying to find tangible ways to help people out, especially in the local community. So if anyone has any little thoughts that they would really need help with, maybe it's a website you need building, maybe it's a social thing that we can help out and you need a lot of bodies for, I'd be interested in speaking to you. So please come find me afterwards. Thank you very much.
Go to Zoom really quick. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Good evening, everyone. I bring greetings from the Congresswoman who's currently in Washington, D.C. I want to start off by saying Happy Women's History Month to all the women in CB4 and all the women in Bushwick. And to all of those that have benefited from having women in our lives. I want to start off, yeah, that's all of us. That's you, Camacho. Yes, that's you too. I want to start off with some legislative news. The Congresswoman has introduced the GAME Act, which stands for the Guaranteed Access to Arts and Music Education, which would provide federal funding to improve access to music and arts for our disadvantaged and low-income students across the country. Now, I mentioned this last month, but I want to mention this again for the folks who weren't there. The Congresswoman secured over $15 million in community project funding for the 2026 fiscal year, including $1.8 million for DOT to repave Broadway, full reconstruction of the roadway from concrete to modern blacktop, from Flushing Avenue to Eastern Parkway. And that's Camacho's favorite. One last thing. As we all know, last month, the Trump administration has launched a war in Iran. This decision was made without the proper authorization from Congress and without the support of the American people. The Constitution is very clear. The power to declare war belongs to Congress. No president should be able to drag our country into another conflict in the Middle East without the accountability. So far, it's already cost this country $22 billion. $22 billion. That's money that could have went to lowering the cost of living, could have went to investing in housing, strengthening our schools, and supporting working families here at home. That is why the Congresswoman voted yes on the War Powers resolution to end President Trump's illegal war in Iran. But disappointingly, this resolution did not pass. We must bring this conflict to an end and restore Congress's constitutional authority and refocus our priorities here at home and the needs of the American people. But in closing, once again, happy Women's History Month. And if anyone needs assistance with a federal agency, that could be postal, that could be Social Security, immigration visas, any of that, please call our office at 718-599-3658. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nancy. I'm a CB4 member, but I'm excited to announce an upcoming event. In a group called the Motherhood Collective. It's a group of moms, Bushwick moms, and we're having a story time and free book fair at Secret Reso Club in Bushwick. It's on 122 Central Ave. It's on April 19th. It's a Sunday. It's from 3:30 to 5 p.m. We're partnering with a group called Brooklyn Book Bodega, and they are they're supplying free books for any kids that come. So it should be really fun. We're also looking for readers, volunteer readers. Most of the readers are parents that come, but we've had a few community members come too. I think it's really sweet. I left some flyers in the back. So please come. I'll be there. I'll be reading. I'll say hi. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Stephanie Anderson, chairperson of the Arts, Culture, and Technology Committee. I'll be saying that for the last time because I'm stepping down because there's some wonderful things that are happening in my professional and personal life, which I have to, weigh my priorities. But I'm going to miss all of you terribly, and I want to know if I could get a picture with you before you leave. So don't rush out. Okay, thank you.
Hi, Pablo Rivera, Bushwick Sports and Recreation. Our winter training was a success. We're closing it now this weekend. Next week it's going to be our last days. Tuesdays from 6 to 9. Thursdays from 6 to Fridays from 6 to 9, and Saturdays from 12 to 4. Okay, but it's going to be our last week, and then we're going to start our free baseball clinics at Hope Ball Field. So you can call a number that I'm going to give you, so they could give you the exact dates, because we're going to have certain ages at Hope and certain ages behind Bushwick High School, at Bushwick Playground. So our number is 718-628-5486 or 347-388-8271. Okay. We have some flyers.
All right, I see no one else in person, no one else on Zoom. We will move on now to our second roll call. Board members, please be ready, starting in reverse order. Linda Whitfield. All right. Jerry Valentine.
Have a good night, everybody present.
Ben Tucker. Christian Tate. James Stewart. B. Speederman. Annette Spellin. Milagros Sandoval. Josue Salazar. Eliseo Ruiz. Raul Rubio. Pablo Rivera. Cirillo Nunez. Zuma Navoa.
Good night, everyone.
Romika Nichols Barnes.
Here.
Gotcha. Christine Malden. Cindy LeBron. Nancy Keith. Nancy? Gotcha. Giovanni Justiniano. Luisa Jose. Luisa? Oh, got you, Lisa. Speak up, folks. I can't hear. There are people talking around me. Tara Jones Thomas. Virgie Jones is excused. Barbara Jackson. Got you, Barbara. Tanisha Honeygan.
Present. Good night.
Deborah Hicks.
Good night.
Thank you. Courtney Henley. Zachary Hendrickson. Elaine Hamilton. Ann Guiney. Christopher Graham. Alan Gamboa. Freddie Fowler. Andrew Choi. Felix Ceballos. Robert Camacho. Joanna Bennett. Joanna Bennett. Stephanie Anderson. Motion to adjourn. James Stewart makes a motion. Who? Zach Hendrickson seconds. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. 9:09. Good night, everyone.